I've seen some lowerings from the storm. I'm not seeing anything that I can determine is rotating right now. Um, I'm just kind of looking at it for the first time with you. We kind of got a little closer on this hill, and this is certainly the area that we're concerned with. And I do see um, perhaps some rotation in this area here. We're just kind of watching it right now. That is just south of Highway 37, and it would be. We're looking to the. We're about 4 miles west. I'm sorry, east of Koger.
Okay, all right, Chris. Well, we'll keep a close eye on this one. And this storm is rotating. That's exactly where it's doing it, just west of Minko near Koger, and this cell moving quickly up to the northeast. So this right here is a severe thunderstorm warning inside of a PDS tornado watch that we currently have in place. Let's go with the field meteorologist Michael Armstrong in Storm Command. Michael, give us an update on the storm that you're looking at.
Yeah, Damon, we are in position to intercept the storm that Chris Lee is on that's just east of Kogar that's lifting up toward Union City. Damon, it is on a track for El Reno. I'm talking about downtown El Reno, center of circulation, may pass just to the west of downtown El Reno. But I want people in El Reno to understand this storm is moving quickly. You have about 30 minutes right now. This storm does have a tornado possible tag on the severe thunderstorm warning. That's kind of a unique severe thunderstorm warning that they issue. Sometimes it's a precursor to a tornado warning. So you folks in El Reno, now's the time. Again, we've been talking about this for days now, about today. Now's the time where you ought to be wrapping things up and getting ready to put your plan into action in case a tornado warning gets issued. The storm is lifting to the northeast, Damon. I show it moving at about 35 miles per hour, so again, that puts it in El Reno in about 30 minutes. We're going to track it closely. We just have the rain that's extending from the storm into Union City right now, but we'll see the lowered area, and we'll see everything here in about 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, Michael, keeping a close eye. Once again, field meteorologist Michael Armstrong out near Union City. Back over to the radar we go right now. Let's go back out to Cheyenne. Cheyenne tornado warning continues, and we'll have to get Shane on in just a second here, but here's a storm track up to the north. We go to El Reno at 247, Lucky Star Casino 255. We go to Kingfisher at 331 with this storm right here, the severe thunderstorm warning that is moving due north. Let's go back out to the tornado warning out across western Oklahoma out towards Cheyenne. I want to get an update right now on that cell that is moving up to the northeast very fast. Let's go to Shane Helton. Shane, tornado warning, the very first of the day. We see that rotation very close to Cheyenne. Give us an update on what you're seeing.
Damon, I am approaching this storm from the east. I can see what looks like to be a rain-free base there. I'm not really seeing, from my vantage point, there's hills and everything else. I'm not really seeing anything that's maybe a wall cloud or anything like that. I'm not seeing that yet. But I do believe once I get past these hills, I should start seeing all kinds of stuff here, the action area, as we would call it. And I hope this isn't going to turn out to be anything really bad. But Damon, here we go, right here. You may be able to see in my shot now. There's the rain-free base. Let me zoom in just a little bit. And there is our lowering. Okay, so you're going to start seeing this here in just a minute.
Yeah, we see it. Yeah, we definitely see it there. So right now, this is the storm that we're looking at. There's a lowering. Cloud deck is very low right now. I mean, it is very, very low. So it's not going to take much work for that cloud to touch the ground here. But this is definitely an afternoon where the risk for severe weather, significant severe weather, is incredibly high. And so this storm right here, this is going to be coming in from Shane Helton. And this is going to be a tornado warning, the very first of what will be many tornado warnings that we're going to see today. Let's go back out to Chris Lee. Chris Lee is going to be on this cell that's going to be just west of Oklahoma City. Chris, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, we're just to the east of Koger, and I am seeing a rotating wall cloud lowering from the rain-free base. This is moving to the northeast. It's about to cross. It's probably right about on. We're just south of 152. It's probably just right on 152, a couple of miles to our west, probably just to the east of Koger.
All right, well, yeah, we can definitely see that. So the storm is still severe warned on. That's a severe thunderstorm warning with the threat of a tornado, and the tornado risk is going to be incredibly high as we go into the afternoon, as we go into the overnight. Not only the tornado threat are we watching, large hail, also watching for some significant flooding. The flooding risk is incredibly high for today. So let's go back over to the radar. You're starting to see that bend. It's that inflow that's coming into this storm. Now, this cell right here down just south of Minko, we're hoping that this can help cut off the inflow into the cell, but right now this is a healthy thunderstorm moving up to the north in a very warm, a very unstable environment. So Union City, 239. We go into El Reno at 253. El Reno High School, 253. Concho at 305. And then we go into Marshall at 413. On the left-hand side of your television screen, you see two pictures coming in. Southwest is going to be Minko. That is where Chris Lee and field meteorologist Michael Armstrong are located. On the upper left-hand side of your television screen, that is coming in from KOCO5 storm chaser Shane Helton, who is going to be out in Cheyenne on a tornado warning. Fortunately, we have not seen anything touch the ground yet out near Cheyenne. Warning still continues, though, with that cell as it moves up to the northeast. That is the latest right here with this storm. We got to bounce back and forth right now, work a couple of storms. We have this cluster storms to deal with. We have other thunderstorms developing in the southwest, and then we have these storms and this tornado warning that we see just to the west-southwest. This is going to be where Shane Helton is located and Strong City, and that's where the rotation is going to be located, no doubt about it. That is a developing storm that's currently in between Strong City and Cheyenne, and that rotation continues to get even stronger, more significant as it moves up to the northeast. Out to Shane we go. Shane, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Damon, I'm coming into I'm coming into Cheyenne right now. The storm sirens are sounding. We still have that same lowering we was watching moments ago. I don't think you can see it because of the clouds and stuff like that and the hills. But the storm sirens are definitely sounding here in Elk City, and people are actually trying to get out of town too. But it looks like the storm is going to be passing here pretty quick though, because it's moving at such a high rate of speed. Back to you, Damon.
Okay, yeah, we can see that, and that storm is moving very quickly. Speeds of 40 miles per hour. This coming in right now from Shane Helton, who is going to be out near Cheyenne on this tornado warning that we have ongoing right now in Cheyenne, western Oklahoma. So that's the story here. Let's go back over to the radar. We got to work a bunch of different storms. So that storm is spinning. This cell, we'll have to watch that one near Morewood. Anytime you see an inflow like that and you get that curly Q like that, it's something to pay close attention on. There is some rotation associated with this one. It is going to be weak rotation, but it's definitely there moving up to the northeast. The hot spot today for severe weather, for tornadic weather, is going to likely be central Oklahoma and western Oklahoma. This cell moving up to the north, and as it moves up to north, and if you're in Woodward right now, if you're in Ponca City, if you're in Medford, you step outside, it's cold. You had rain throughout the day. It's more of a hail threat for you. Not until we really begin to warm things up are we going to see that risk for tornadoes come into northern Oklahoma. So there's a storm track moving up to the northeast with that cell that is severe warned on. Tologa, 308, Sealing at 318, and then we go down towards Chester at 324. All these communities right here, this is what you need to know. Watch out for up to some large hail, some very large hail, and winds of 60 miles per hour with that cell as it continues to move up to the north. Tornado warning continues as we go out towards Cheyenne. That's on the upper left-hand side of your television screen. That is coming in from Shane Helton. Jonathan, let's check out the rotation within this cell that we have just west of Oklahoma City that we'll currently call Chris and Michael storm. There is some weak rotation on the north side of the river here. This is going to be the Canadian River. Our rotation is going to at least ping about 1 mile north of the Canadian River at this current time, although it's going to be very close, if not almost on top of the river. No matter how you look at it with this cell, this storm is spinning, moving up to the north. It is going to be in a very unstable atmosphere, and so this is going to be warned on for 60-mile-per-hour winds, not much hail. Another severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued. That one's going to have that tornado tag now attached to it out across western Oklahoma. We are now going into the window where just in the last 15 minutes, we have had a couple of warnings. We have had 3 warnings issued in the last 15 minutes. Goes to show you how fast things are beginning to get their act together. And that storm still showing some rotation. There's Nick. There's Chris. There is going to be field meteorologist Michael Armstrong. And let's go out to Shane Helton right now. Let's go out to Shane Helton to get him on the phone. Shane, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Okay, yeah, David, I'm sorry about that. That was actually Strong City where the storm sirens are sounding moments ago. And the RFD, rear flank downdraft, is starting to circle around this storm here. I see the rotation has just passed right over me and right over the Strong City area, which is what we were watching there on video just moments ago. I'm going to turn around and head back up and catch up with that again. But I know that I did not see anything as far as other what the lowering was that we saw on video there just a few moments ago. I haven't seen anything other than that. In fact, I haven't not even seen any hail yet. So that is a good thing, although I know that we have a very real chance for some hail today. And some of this is looking like it could start producing hail pretty quick. Back to you, Damon.
Yeah, we see that. And Shane, we might drop you down to the southwest because that cell over Eric is one that is beginning to show some signs of rotation as well as it's now moving in to western Oklahoma. Let's go back over to the radar. So what I'm concerned about will be this cell over Eric. If you were watching a lot of our Facebook Lives and our app videos that we had posted today, what we were saying is that about 3 o'clock is when storms were going to likely start to go out. That's what's happening right here. These are what tornadic storms are going to look like today. They're going to have this curly cue to it, and any type of rotation is going to be on the southwest side. This blue line that Jonathan just highlighted is going to be the boundary between warm air and cold air. Storms that move north of this are going to have a difficult time producing a tornado. Not that the tornado risk is zero north of this blue line, but it is much lower. But if you're south, the tornado threat is going to be much, much higher. And so we're now, if you're in Eric, if you're in Elk City, we are watching this cell very closely for you, as this storm is likely going to be one that is going to remain at least this unstable atmosphere long enough to where it could quickly produce a tornado. Jonathan, you're looking at this storm out across western Oklahoma. Definitely things have gone downhill very fast and in a short amount of time.
Damon, the problem that we have for today is that the storms waited. And as they waited, the instability kept on building up. That means the updrafts are going to be a lot more violent when they take off. So when we look at this, we have to look at where the storms are at and what environment they're going into. So even though we have a tornado warning on Shane's storm and he had some rotation, that's moving into a cold environment. That's a really good thing when it comes to the tornado risk. So that storm moving into air temperatures right now that are in the 50s. That's really good. And northeast winds. That should kill the tornado risk on that storm that Shane is on moving towards Lady. And then the storm off to his east. Those are going to end up being mostly hailstorms. Again, south of that boundary. Concerned about this storm. Has southeast winds. Has that stretched out hook look. Would not be surprised if we see a tornado warning issued on that storm. That's going to be going into Sweetwater. They're warned right now for a severe thunderstorm warning until 3:30, but that could change. Back into Texas, you can see all the dry line storms have fired up, and there are some big storms. This is what we're worried about today. Storms starting to look like that. Deep-rooted, really strong storms that are very tall, have a lot of lightning, and are organized. Those are still several hours away from Oklahoma, but one thing we have to watch here in just a second is all the storms across that may develop in south central and southwestern Oklahoma. Any one of these storms, when they break through that, what we call that cap, they're going to be in very warm conditions. We're talking about temperatures in the 70s and 80s, tropical humidity, and when they break through, they're going to spin up really hard. And this storm right here, Damon, that we're looking at still with Michael, this storm again, it's rotating, it's starting to get lightning, and it's still south of the warm front.
It is. We definitely see that storm getting even stronger. Let's go to Michael right now. Michael looking right into the heart of this rotation. Michael, out to you we go. Give us an update.
Damon, we have a lowering that's trying to develop right now, and I'm gonna put it in my shot. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit to the base of it. That's where we've seen some scud that's rising up into the base of this cloud. So it looked like it was about to develop into a wall cloud just about 60 seconds ago. It's still trying to lower right now as I'm speaking to you. We are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 miles south of El Reno. Oh, we're coming up on, 15th Street is where we're at, straight south of El Reno, and we're on Country Club Road. I know you can see me on radar on my location. So this is lifting up toward El Reno, and it is moving very, very rapidly.
See that moving up to the north? Yeah, moving quickly up to the north. For sure, and yeah, we're going to keep in close contact with Michael, who is currently going to be north of Union City. This storm continues to move more north. Once it goes into the colder air, it's going to lose a lot of its tornadic threat, but still, that cell still shows signs of rotation. Here's Union City, just north of the Canadian River. By the way, an update for those of you that are out in western Oklahoma with this tornado warning until 3:15 for Custer, Ellis, and Roger Mills County. That warning that we have right now, that will not be extended as it goes up into that colder air. So this tornado warning that we have here is going to they're not going to issue a new one. Just got an update there from the National Weather Service. But this storm is still spinning. Storm Command, Chris Lee, and our rotation tracker shows exactly where that storm is going to be spinning. We are just southwest of El Reno, moving up to the northeast at speeds of 40 and 50 miles per hour, brings it into El Reno very soon. We go into Lucky Star at 257, Concho 302, Marshall 411, Callahan and Covington at 430. Fast-moving storm. We told you these cells were going to move pretty quickly today, and these are doing exactly that, speeds of 40 to 50 miles per hour with that cell that continues to move up to the north. Other storms that we have popping up now on the radar that we need to watch are going to be these ones down to the southwest. Very unstable, very warm. If you're in northern Oklahoma, I know it's cold right now. Okay, let's go back out to Michael. Michael, out to we go. Give us, Michael, what are you seeing?
Damon, we're starting getting some wrapping rain curtains right now just to the southwest of El Reno, literally like a mile west of my location. So I'm just letting you know this is a storm we're going to have to watch super close. There is some rotation that continues with this storm. Oh, I'm starting to see some lowering now, starting to see some little bit of scud that's starting to form just due west of me. This is not a good sign. We do not want something to develop right here, right on the southwest side of El Reno. But Damon, I'm not saying there's a tornado yet, but I'm just saying this thing is rapidly developing just to my west.
We see that. We see exactly what you're seeing right now as well, Michael. And once again, we're on here because we need to give you the weather information before it becomes a tornado. We know the atmosphere that we're dealing with today. We know the conditions that we have unfolding this afternoon, what we're going to see as we go into the overnight. This is definitely going to be a concerning storm. So control room, let's do the two box right now. We've got to keep Michael shot up, and we also got to keep, there you go. So let's zoom in tight on where Michael is going to be located right now. He's going to be southwest of Banner. He is going to be very close to El Reno. So there's El Reno. That's where the storm is starting to show signs of rotation. It is right there with our high resolution mapping. There is Michael. You can see that's just 2 miles to the west of him. This is moving more north than east. That means it's going to move right over I-40 in the next few minutes, moving quickly at about 40 and 50 miles per hour. So putting a storm track up to the northeast. And once again, these are some fast moving storms. El Reno 251. We go into Concho at 304. Crescent and Cimarron City here at about 3:45 to almost 4 o'clock. And then Perry, told you the cell's moving fast. We go to Perry Elementary at 4:40. So we're going to keep a close eye on that one. We have visuals on it. It's going to be that cell right down to the left. Let's go out to western Oklahoma to the Eric cell out towards Elk City, because that storm has that tornado tag attached to it as well with these cells moving in. So this tornado warning that's going to be allowed to expire, they're going to drop it because it's now moving into a colder atmosphere. This is becoming a more concerning storm, and that right there is, I'm looking at this and I don't like what I'm seeing right now because you have nothing blocking the inflow into the cell. So this is just northwest of Eric. Eric, you look outside your window, you can see the storm to the north here. It's gonna miss town. It's gonna miss Eric. However, you have places like Mayfield that are gonna be in the path of this. Same thing for Dempsey. Let's go to Shane Helton right now. Shane, watching your storm closely, also watching the cell down by Eric and Sweetwater. And give us an update on what you're seeing.
Oh yeah, Damon, these storms are looking pretty good. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people listening to us right now on AM/FM radio. A lot of people listening to us on television that might be in places of business. For those of you who are going to be getting out and driving, please don't drive into the storms. Okay, if you do catch yourself in one of these storms, because they are moving very fast, I ask that you slow way down. There's lots of ponding on the roadways from the heavy rain, and I've seen water running out of the ditch across the highway. And I'm going to be coming up towards these two storms right here real quick. Right now, I'm not seeing anything except for the heavy rain. But as soon as I do, I guarantee you I'll be on here and we'll give you the first alert. Back to you, Damon.
Okay, watching that one closely there. And again, that storm out across western Oklahoma. Elk City, Eric, we are here for you watching these storms. Let's go back out to Michael Armstrong. Michael, sirens are sounding.
Tornado sirens are sounding in El Reno right now. This is the look at the lowering. Let's just stop right here, Kyle. No more moving. This has got a very low hanging cloud base with it, Damon. I'm looking for rotation in it, looking for any funnels. But tornado sirens, they are not taking any chances. Not on a day like today. They are sounding the sirens in El Reno.
Yeah, we can see that. Michael, how's the rotation look right in front of you? What are you seeing?
I'm still trying to make out the motion. Damon, visibility is very poor out here because we got this very moist atmosphere with all of the moisture that's come up in the Gulf of Mexico. I do see some motion in that lowering, but I don't detect anything that looks like an imminent tornado. Nonetheless, when it's hanging this low, and we have seen wrapping rain curtains with it, it can develop literally in seconds. That's how fast this can develop. So we're just going to keep an eye on this as it moves up toward El Reno. It is getting a little bit lower. I'm going to zoom in on it. Looks like we do have a little bit of development right in here, right on the right side of the wall cloud. That's what we're watching. You're seeing it with me live right here from Storm Command, just on the southwest side of El Reno. We are right along Country Club Road. This is going to be approaching I-40 very soon.
It will be, yeah. And at a speed as fast as it is moving, I understand why the sirens are sounding in El Reno, because these storms are going to produce tornadoes very quickly today. And when they do, they're going to stay on the ground for a while. These are not going to be the ones that just dance across the Oklahoma countryside, as we can sometimes see. These are ones that have the potential to stay on the ground for a long time and have the potential to become quite violent. So El Reno, you're doing a good thing right now, okay? We know the environment that's in place. We know that there are many schools that were canceled today because of this type of situation right here. You don't want to be out on the, you don't want to have anyone out on the roads. So if you do work in Oklahoma City, you're headed west, now is your window is quickly going downhill. Let's go back over to the radar once again, show you where that rotation is ramping up. And I want Michael to know that we have seen a significant uptick in our rotation. Let's zoom in tight right here where the rotation tracker has just gone from weak rotation, now starting to show moderate rotation right just southwest of Lake El Reno on the west side of El Reno. So here's El Reno, there's Storm Command. Our rotation tracker is really starting to show an increase there in our rotation, now showing moderate rotation. We've seen a lot of weak rotation, but now it's starting to get even hotter. Let's zoom in a little bit tighter here, go into El Reno and show exactly who's in the path of this. It's gonna be on the west side of town, but that right there is what I don't like to see, because when you see that brown picking up on a day like today, this storm is not far. It's not far away at all from producing a tornado. And that's okay. So now the latest radar scan, that rotation has now just gone north of I-40, just right along, just very close to Lake El Reno, right along Elm. That's right by the prison?
Right over the prison. I believe that's the prison, or the federal prison, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, right over it.
Okay, yeah, so Jonathan there is saying that's going to be right over the prison, which, yeah, that does look like it's going to be right over the prison there on the west side of town, moving up to the north. So rotation continues to increase with this cell as it's moving up to the northeast, and it's about to cross right over the state highway here. Kind of give you an idea as to what we're looking at. This is going to be El Reno, so we're on the northwest side, moving north into town. Just heard our alert, so tornado warning is going to be now for there you go. This is the tornado warning. All right, so tornado warning now just issued for this cell. Once again, this storm is now tornado warned. This is a tornado warning. This is just issued just seconds ago. This is where that storm is going to be rotating. Sirens are now sounding in El Reno. If you're on the west side of El Reno, go into your tornado shelter. Once again, the sirens are now sounding in El Reno, and this is now a tornado warning for this storm that we have field meteorologist Michael Armstrong currently on. This tornado warning does extend up into Okarche. We also have Nick Bender. Nick Bender is going to be on this cell as well. So we have field meteorologist Michael Armstrong and we have Nick Bender both on this storm. We're going to be talking to Nick in just a little bit here, but this is a tornado warning now for the west side of El Reno as you go up towards the Lucky Star Casino and eventually up into Okarche. Go into your tornado shelter right now with this storm. This is now a tornado warning that goes until 3:45. It is currently 2:56. If you're just now getting home from work, left work early today, this is our second tornado warning, but this right here is exactly where that rotation is going to be. Let's go out to Michael Armstrong. Michael, tornado warning now in your cell. Give us an update.
Yeah, Damon, we're right here on the lowering. We have a very broad, very low hanging base here. We have seen multiple different times where we've had rotating rain curtains with this particular storm. I haven't seen a visible condensation extending to the ground. I've not seen any confirmation of a tornado yet. However, there is rapid motion right now in the low cloud base. I'm actually kind of surprised at how many people are out on the roads. Listen, we have been talking about this for days. It's time to get home. There are so many people out driving around in El Reno right now. If a tornado were to go right through here, Damon, I'd be very frightened for them. Car is the last place people need to be right now with these type of systems. Listen, don't wait for these storms to get to you. People need to get to a safe spot. The tornado warning sirens have been sounding in El Reno, and we still have a ton of people out here on the roads.
That is, this is exactly what we did not want to see happen today. A lot of people out and tornado warnings now moving in. And what's even worse about this, and Michael, be very safe, people don't behave normally when there's a tornado warning and there's a storm moving in. People tend to blow through stop signs. They're going to blow through stoplights. This is very dangerous and so very concerned. Let's go out to Nick Bender. Nick Bender, you're on the KOCO 5 airwaves. Give us an update on what you're seeing.
Gotcha. Thank you, Damon. We're approximately 1 mile south on Bannister Road, south of Highway 3. You're looking to the south and the west of that storm that Michael Armstrong is following to the north of El Reno. I think the part of the storm capable of producing the tornado is about 8 miles straight off of our hood there to the southwest. We're kind of in that anvil rain right now. I can say that the visibility is actually quite poor. There's a lot of moisture there down near the ground, very low cloud base. So initially it may be difficult to spot the tornado. We could be talking about possibly the rain curtains wrapping around. I'll echo what all y'all have been saying all day. Do not wait to take shelter with these storms. When the warning is issued, you need to go to your tornado safe place that you've drilled on time and time again. This storm is moving quickly to the north there, so everybody there in that polygon up to Okarche, Kingfisher, you need to be in your tornado safe spots right now. Damon, I think we're going to be in the position to see the rain-free base, the part of the storm that could produce the tornado, probably in about another 10 minutes. It'll come right over the field ahead of us. That's the very latest here. Nick Bender here for Channel 5. Back to you.
All right, Nick, we'll be checking in a lot with you. Once again, that's coming in from meteorologist Nick Bender out in just near El Reno. Let's go back over to the radar once again. Very important. That's where the rotation is really ramping up once again. We're going to keep a close eye on this. Keep the radar up. I want to go to Abigail real quick for some important information for those in El Reno.
If you're looking for somewhere to seek shelter in El Reno, the public schools have opened their shelters. El Reno High School, Lincoln Learning Center, the middle school, and Hillcrest locations there in El Reno. But Damon, at this point, it might be too late to get in your car and drive. So if you live very close, go to those locations. If not, Damon, innermost room of your house. Back to you.
Yeah, great advice there. Thank you, Abigail. So there's a Lucky Star Casino. We're about 1.5 miles just southwest of the Lucky Star Casino, and that is where the rotation is going to be strongest. So if you're in El Reno, this cell is north of you. Here's another just bad thing about just how many bad things we have about today is that this is not going to be a one storm and then you're done. We're going to see many waves of tornadic storms, but that rotation there has just, the latest update is now just a half a mile west of the Lucky Star Casino. So El Reno, this storm is moving very quickly up to the north, but that right there goes to show you exactly where the rotation is going to be. It is going to be right on top of the Lucky Star Casino, headed towards Concho. There's Storm Command, there's Nick Bender. Both of them are going to be right in on this cell, and at this current track, it is headed towards Okarche. So Okarche, the storm's moving at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. It's not going to take much time at all to get into town, which is why Okarche, go into your tornado shelter right now. With the environment that we have in place, that is going to be a significant storm moving up to the north, and the potential for this cell to get even stronger is definitely going to be there. On the left-hand side of your television screen, you see the picture coming in from El Reno. That is going to be from Storm Command, but there's going to be Nick Bender as well. So Michael looking from the south up to the north. You have Michael Armstrong looking up to the north, and then you have Nick Bender, who is looking to the west right at this cell. And once again, I get this storm is surrounded with more technology than you can ever. Michael, more technology you can ever imagine. Just got the Michael right now. Michael, give us an update.
Yeah, there was a brief developing funnel. I still see a lowering in the area. It's just going to be right along Highway 81. I put it about 3 miles north of El Reno at this time. There continues to be a rotating wall cloud due north on Highway 81, very near the Lucky Star Casino right now. Damon, is going to be lifting up eventually up toward Highway 3, south and east of Okarche. I think it'll pass just east of Okarche. Oh, man, that's getting low. That is getting low. Kyle, just keep on going right over the power lines, just to the right of the highway. Let me bring my 360 cam back around here just a little bit. Right in there, Damon. That is getting very low. I don't have a confirmed condensation funnel to the ground yet, but that is getting quite low, and there is rotation in that.
Yeah, and that is going to be coming up very close to Concho. So there's Michael. There's Nick Bender. Tornado warning until 3:45. Michael's looking at this right here. This is that. Right on the bottom left-hand side of your television screen. And this storm moving very quickly up to the north. Really got to watch it. You can see it's getting that inflow. It's getting that rotation. This is a tornado warning for Canadian and Kingfisher County right now. This goes until 3:45. If this storm is going to produce a tornado, and knowing the environment that we have right now, we're going to easily see it as it moves up to the northeast. So this storm still continues to show signs of strengthening. It is still very much in a very unstable atmosphere. If you're in northern Oklahoma right now, you're doing okay. You go outside, Ponca City, it feels cold. I know we have a risk, but that cold air is going to help minimize the tornado threat for today. Our rotation is still evident right in front of Michael, just north of the casino, the Lucky Star Casino. There's Concho. So we are very close. Very close into this storm. We have it surrounded. Nick looking to the west, Michael looking up to the north, and this cell is moving quickly up to the north as well, headed towards eventually Okarche and Kingfisher. So Okarche 3:15, Kingfisher at 3:31, Dover at 3:45, and then Hennessy as we go towards 4 o'clock. Once again, this storm moving at speeds of 40 miles per hour. Not a slow-moving storm. None of the storms that we had today are going to be slow-moving storms. These are all going to be fast-moving storms with the threat of long-track tornadoes. Now, as this storm continues to move up to the north, what's going to happen? It's going to eventually go into that colder air. It's still going to rotate, but it's not going to rotate nearly as strong, as significant, which means that that's going to help bring down that tornado threat. That's some good news. So if you go outside and it feels cold, that's what this storm is going to mean for you. It's going to eventually lose some of that tornado potential, but right now it's not. Let's go back out to Michael if we can, because Michael, that rotation is happening right in front of you. Michael, have you seen any uptick in that rotation?
I'm watching, Damon, the cloud base is probably about 800 feet off the ground, maybe even less, maybe 600 feet off the ground right next to me. If a tornado develops, it is going to happen right here next to me. Kyle, let's go ahead and pull up here and stop for a second. Damon, if a tornado develops, it's going to happen right here, just to my right. This is just to the east of Highway 81. Let me tell you where this is going to be lifting up toward. Listen, there are people who live out here. This is going to be along Alphadale Road is where it's going to cross near Highway 3 and near Radio Road as well. We are right now, let me tell you exactly where we are. Man, we're right here on the tip of the hook. My goodness. This is, we're 150th. We're right in between 150th. And let's see, that's going to be East 5950, I believe. No, East 950 Road, right along Highway 81. So for people who are listening on the radio, this is 4 miles south of the Highway 81, Highway 3 junction. A lot of motion in the cloud base. I don't see anything on the ground right now at this time, but this storm continues to be quite strong.
Yeah, it does still continue to be quite strong there. So if you're just now getting home from work, I know a lot of schools canceled today. A lot of you still had to go to work. It's 3:06. This is what you need to know. At this current moment, we have a PDS tornado watch that goes until 10 o'clock. A PDS tornado watch, that stands for particularly dangerous situation. That is a higher end tornado watch. Those are reserved for the days in which we expect that there's going to be the threat of long track, violent tornadoes. That is what we have for today. There's a reason a lot of schools canceled today. We expect that there's going to be many waves of storms. The risk for tornadoes, it begins now. It's going to carry until about 8 and 9 o'clock this evening. After 9 o'clock, we're going to see the tornado threat come down just a little bit. We're going to see the flooding potential, damaging wind, and large hail threat really ramp up as we go into the overnight. We have many, many waves of severe weather threats. And while the tornado risk definitely deserves the attention that it's getting right now, as we go into the overnight, cannot hit the message hard enough about the flooding potential that we're going to see coming in here as well. Even the flood watch that we have in place is going to be that of like a PDS flood watch. If you've never heard of a PDS flood watch, it's because I don't believe we've ever had a PDS flood watch. Goes to show you just the amount of potentially flooding rain and just how bad it and how widespread it could get. We're going to see some areas that are going to pick up 5, 6, 7 inches of rain tonight. That on top of the full rivers, that on top of the soil that is incredibly saturated right now. This is going to be a very long night, and our weather coverage will not end anytime soon. So Storm Command, there's Nick Bender. That's where the rotation continues, and that thing continues to ramp up to the northeast. This is going to come very close to Okarche. This is going to if it misses Okarche, it's going to then head up and towards around Kingfisher. So Kingfisher, get ready for you as well. As you can see here, your tornado warning remains in effect until 3:45. So this storm, this is the inflow coming into the storm. It is still rotating as it moves up to the northeast. Right now, with this particular storm, it's still rotating. We've got Michael on it. Let's pull on out. Let's look at the big picture if we can here, Jonathan, and show what's happening across the rest of the state, because there's a lot going on. Northern Oklahoma, these thunderstorms, these are going to help things for you. Western Oklahoma, I knew this was going to happen. Tornado warnings out towards Childress. And that storm is going to move up to the northeast. And this storm and in this environment, we mentioned this a couple days ago, but I'm very concerned. If you're in Hollis, Altus, Mangum, Hobart, this air mass, it is very warm outside right now. If you're outside today, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's been in the 80s. We had sunshine. These storms are already tornado warned, and they're moving up to the northeast. This is going to be a bad, bad place for this afternoon as these storms are going to move in here. Look at all the storms that are going up. The conditions that we have for tornadoes today, they don't get any higher than what we have right now. Jonathan, a lot of storms going up, but I don't know about you, but southwestern Oklahoma is really going to be a hot spot for today.
Damon, I'm absolutely concerned for southwestern Oklahoma. It is prime. Temperatures there are in the 80s. Dew points are in the 70s. This storm near Paducah, Texas, this is not in Oklahoma, but it did produce a large cone tornado. I have a friend of mine, Eric Kelly, expert storm chaser, came down from Colorado just for this day, and he's on this storm, and it has a cone tornado on it right now, and it's not that far. It's maybe about an hour away from Oklahoma. He will help walk those storms across the Oklahoma border. So we'll have southwestern Oklahoma covered with Eric Kelly, Shane Helton, Buck King, and Stephen Jones. But boy, Damon, these are the storms that fired off the dry line, and they're going into a very explosive environment. Then we need to watch a couple of these cells. These are very weak. These aren't even storms, but if they can pop through that thermal cap, you can actually already see that they're already sheared. Means they're going up rotating, even though they don't have strong updrafts yet. They're going up rotating. We'll have to watch for those two areas. If those become rooted or a main storm, they'll quickly go severe and potentially come tornadic. So again, all of southwestern Oklahoma, this is all just a like explosive environment, extreme heat, extreme instability, and again, the high shear for these storms. Any storms that go in that environment are going to be spinning very, very hard, Damon. When it comes to these storms that, Shane Helton's watching, those are really close to the warm front. I personally think if they can get north of the warm front, their tornado risk will diminish. Still got to watch this storm just west of Cheyenne just for a couple more minutes, but I'd be, again, more concerned for the storms west of Hall. So those are the ones that are going to end up being strong, potentially producing long-track tornadoes into western Oklahoma.
Yeah, and that was a definite concern that we were watching. There are a lot of concerns out here, but that was a big-time one that I was concerned about down to the southwest, where it's very warm, very unstable. Sky 5 looking right into the storm. You can see Sky 5 on the upper left-hand side of your television screen. That coming in from Sky 5, and once again, this tornado warning continues. This cell racing up to the north at speeds of 40 to 50 miles per hour is going to bring it in just east of Okarche, and it's going to head up in towards Kingfisher very fast. So it's only 3:11. This warning carries until 3:45. But as Jonathan mentioned, and what we at least want to see this storm do is go up into that colder air. That's going to help bring down the risk in a pretty big way as it continues to move up to the north. Nick Bender is looking right into this storm. Let's go out to Nick Bender right now. Nick, our radar is still showing signs of rotation. You're in this tornado warning. Give us an update on what you're seeing.
Damon, we're at Highway 3 in Radio Road. You are looking pretty much back to the west there at the part of the storm that could be capable of producing the tornado. Very low, hazy conditions here. It's pretty tough to spot unless you're really, really close to it. But we're in that rain-free area looking back to the west and southwest. I am not able to detect any rotation within those clouds there, but to kind of echo what Michael Armstrong was saying, very low cloud base, very murky, very hazy. It may initially be fairly tough to spot this storm, but I also can see that some of this rain is clearing out. That may be an indication of the rotation intensifying. A lot of the times you can kind of centrifuge that precipitation out, and you can your visibility increases, which I think it's doing right now. You can kind of see that live, the visibility of that rain-free base increasing. We're watching that part of the storm. This is moving. It's going to come real close to Okarche. I think it comes up on the east side of Okarche, kind of splits the middle between Okarche, Piedmont, moving possibly just to the east of Kingfisher, but all within that red polygon. You have to respect it. We need you in your tornado safe place right now. Tornado could be produced at any time. Damon, back to you.
And knowing the environment that we have here, Nick, yeah, a tornado could be produced anytime, and our rotation tracker on our radar just ramped up just in the last scan here. So Nick is in the perfect spot. He is currently near Okarche. An update on this storm right here is that it's going to continue to move up to north. Let's go back over to the radar if we can. There's Nick. There's Sky 5. This is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning now for those in Hennessy, up to Vance Air Force Base, up to Enid, with a tornado tag. So as we mentioned before, as the storm continues to move up to the north, it's going to lose some of its characteristics and its ability to produce a tornado, which is good. However, Enid, listen up, Enid. If you're watching us right now, this is what you need to know. Enid, Hennessy, Wacomas, this storm is going to lose some of its rotation, but it's still going to at least have a risk. So we're going to be watching this one very closely. But an update with this storm, you can see the brand new severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to extend pretty far up to the north. Is that it is going to have it's going to be severe with that tornado tag attached to it. So putting a storm track up to the northeast, Dover 350, Lovell 405, Hennessy at 405 once again, and we can see at least this storm still showing signs of rotation as it moves up to the north, have some quarter-size hail with it. But Enid, you go outside right now, you go outside across northern Oklahoma, you can feel just how much cooler it is. Still though, Enid, you're inside this PDS tornado watch. This watch goes until 10 o'clock this evening, this particularly dangerous situation, tornado watch that we have. So there's Sky 5. There's Nick Bender, both on the cell as it continues to lift up to the north. And this storm, as you can see on the left-hand side of your television screen, still showing that sign of rotation. Still has at least that look to it, that kidney bean look, which is exactly what you need for a tornado to be produced, especially with an environment like we have today. Abigail, over to you at the news desk for an update.
Enid was already hit earlier today. We actually had an injury there, a weather-related injury in Enid. A man was operating a forklift and suffered a lightning-related injury. He was taken to the hospital. Thankfully, he is expected to be okay. But Damon, it's not just the flooding and the tornado. You know, there are several different elements in a PDS-type atmosphere. Back to you.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of different things happening today alone. Definitely the storms we had early this morning. Let's go out to Enid, because a brand new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued. And that is going to be for quarter-size hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds, and that storm is going to be for Garfield County. Right now, quarter-size hail with this. This does have at least that tornado tag attached to it, and you can see why. Our radar is at least showing some sign of rotation coming in right over Enid right now. Our rotation tracker is showing at least areas of rotation. I have a low-level lock right now. Jonathan, is this Vance Air Force Base that we're... Okay, definitely at least seeing some type of rotation with this cell. I mean, it's not a tornado warning, but right now, at least our radar is at least showing some sign of rotation coming in very close to Enid. Definitely a hail core, quarter-size hail attached with that, making its way out across Garfield County. So that storm, moving up to northeast. Let's go to Nick Bender. Nick Bender, out to you we go. Nick, give us an update on what you're seeing.
All right, Damon, we're actually now going back up to the north and the west here along Highway 3. The circulation went pretty much right over us, maybe about a mile to our west. I did see some gradual slow rotation within the rain-free part of that storm, but it's zipping off pretty quickly here to the north and the east. The lightning has really increased off to my east with it. That can sometimes be a sign of intensification. But again, I did not see any localized, persistent, strong rotation, what we would look for an imminent tornado. But with the type of conditions that we have in place for today, you have to treat it like a tornado could be produced at any time. So that's why we want you to continue to be in your tornado shelters if you are within that warning polygon here as this storm moves off to the north. I can see Sky 5 there. He's kind of off to my north and my east. And I know Michael's in Storm Command north of me, so we have this storm well covered here. You're looking at the south side of the rain curtain kind of coming back around the part of the storm that could be producing the rotation that has prompted that tornado warning. Damon, we'll send it back to you.
Yeah, great job out there, Nick Bender, once again on this storm as it continues to move up to the north. On the left-hand side, you can see Nick's shot. You can also see Sky 5 right on top of him, and this tornado warning continues with this cell moving up to the north. Okay, let's go back into Vance Air Force Base and up into Garfield County and into the Enid area. A lot of us that are currently in Enid, your phone just went off. You just saw that warning text sent to your mobile device. This is a severe thunderstorm warning with the potential of a developing tornado. Our radar is indicating some rotation on the north side of Enid. So as you go from just north of downtown, definitely have some strong winds within this. We're going to keep a close eye on this. This is not a tornado warning, but this is definitely one of those days where you get a warning like this, you got to watch it. Enid, you're part of this tornado watch. So Enid, Garfield County, you're included in this tornado watch as well, with this cell, which does have the potential of producing a tornado. Right now, it's not tornado warned, but still, with every scan that we see, we are watching the winds inside of this storm closely as it moves across Garfield County. So Enid High School at 3:19. We go into Enid at 3:20. We go into Breckenridge at 3:30. By the way, the fertilizer plant there on the east side, about 3:30 as well. Garber, 3:45. Billings, 3:59. Perry Airport, 4:11. Tonkawa. Now, Tonkawa, you're not included in this tornado watch, but this storm comes into you at 4:17. You still have a risk for some hail with this cell quickly moving up to the northeast. So this storm, we're watching closely as well. Once again, severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect inside of this tornado watch. Let's go out to Sky 5 right now. Sky 5, you're on the southern cell, just northwest of Oklahoma City. Give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, that's right, Damon. We're seeing a lot of rotation right here in this shot. You can see there's a lot of activity. Another thing that's interesting to point out is how many different directions all these windmills are. That just gives you an idea of how much instability is in the air right now. And this cell is moving really rapidly, like you said, to the northeast, and we're having to follow it We're just kind of hopscotching it to the northeast. A lot of lightning off to the north as well, but you can see a lot of rotation in this area. We're going to have to keep a really close eye on this. I know we got crews on the ground, and from this vantage point, you're definitely going to have to keep a close eye on this, because this could very quickly.
Hey, Chase, there might be a tornado, right? Hey, Chase, can you tell Mark to pan down if you can, because we very well could be. Is there a tornado trying to form on the bottom? Hey, Chase, do you see any suction spots? Do you see anything on the ground right in front of you?
We're looking on the ground right here, Damon. We don't see anything yet. I mean, we're pretty close to this thing. We're going to try to zoom in a little bit more to see if we can see something. I'm going to have to get in a better position, so we're just excuse the skids as they come through as we try to reposition to get a better shot on this right here. But you can see a lot of lowering in this area right here, Damon.
Yeah, that's it right there. Watch these wind farms, these windmill blades right here. But a lot of times the tornado is not always going to be touching the ground from the cloud down to the bottom. It can sometimes go. Sometimes you can see some suction spotters, some spray that kicks up from the bottom. But that thing is spinning, and it is spinning fast right in front of Chase. So Sky 5, Chase Rutledge right on the storm. And once again, that rotation is really beginning to increase. Yeah, that thing's getting even tighter and tighter. Is Nick Bender? How close is Nick Bender to this? Might need to get an update from Nick here on what he sees from the ground. But that's definitely a lowering. Okay, Nick, out to Nick we go. Nick, give us an update.
Damon, I'm coming up into Okarche. We're moving pretty quickly now here to the north. Just before we got back to the west and in the rain, we were able to see that the rain kind of cleared out of the base, and it was showing more signs of a persistent localized area of rotation. But we're now just on the back west side of the storm trying to reposition. But I do think it intensified some from a rotation standpoint, which may mean that the tornado potential with that storm is increasing as it's moving to the north there. Damon, we'll send it back to you.
All right, yeah, Nick. So Nick is on the ground. We have Chase Rutledge and Sky 5 up in the air on this right here. But that storm is that's getting even more significant. That storm is getting even stronger as it continues to move into an atmosphere where this thing's going to tornado. This is the healthiest storm that we have seen so far. If you're just now tuning in, so we are near Okarche, near the wind farms, and this storm continues to show that well-pronounced lowering. At times, I feel like I'm seeing water get kicked up from the ground with this cell right here, or from this rotation right now. But this thing, I feel like, is dancing along the county land there across Canadian County, headed up towards Okarche and eventually into Kingfisher. Let's go out to Michael Armstrong. Michael, give us an update.
Damon, we are repositioning. We're just southeast of Kingfisher. I know Kingfisher is included in the tornado warning. It looks like it should pass just barely east of Kingfisher. This is the strongest rotation I've seen on this storm on radar. We'll be back in a position to see it as it crosses Highway 33. We are working hard to try to stay up with this storm. These storms are moving fast, Damon, so very difficult. I would say anywhere along Highway 33, along North 2900, that would be the road that I would be concerned about.
Okay, go to Chase Rutledge. Chase Rutledge, go ahead, go.
Yeah, that's right, Damon. Mark and I have been looking at this thing, and we're seeing water getting kicked up from the ground, and a lot of those trees spinning right below this cell that we were talking about. Now, you can't see a funnel yet, but we are seeing a lot of movement on the ground. Haven't seen any debris yet, but we're going to continue to watch this as these windmills just kind of get kicked around in this area, showing you in all the directions which way these winds are going, Damon.
Yeah, we're gonna keep on your shot, Chase. Just so you know, this thing is starting to spray up some water from the ground. I feel like this is getting even more and more pronounced. This is going to produce a tornado. This is going to do it very soon. You can see there at times there's some suction spots on the ground, but this thing is getting more and more organized as it continues to move up to the northeast. Control room, if we can do a 2-box so that we can show exactly where this is in comparison to Okarche and where it is in comparison to Kingfisher. So that is where Sky 5 is located. So they're very close to Cashin. There's going to be Cimarron City. There's Crescent. There's Kingfisher. Okarche, you're okay. This is going to be in between the two cities here, but that storm continues to get more and more pronounced as it moves up to the northeast. You can see that inflow. You can see that hook. Sky 5, you cannot get any closer in the air than where Sky 5 is currently located. I mean, they're right in that hook, so be safe there, Chase and Mark. Storm track up to the northeast, 408. Lovell at 420. Once again, this tornado warning continues for Kingfisher until 3:45. So the warning no longer in effect for Canadian County as the storm has now moved out of Canadian County. But that warning is now going to be for Kingfisher County, southeastern Kingfisher County to be exact, moving up to the northeast here. Once again, we have Nick Bender, we've got Storm Command, we have field meteorologist Michael Armstrong in Storm Command, and we have Sky 5 all on this particular supercell as it continues to move up to the northeast. You can see that rotation right there moving up to the northeast as well. We need to work a couple of different events right now. We got to keep a close eye on this. Let's also go up into Enid, up into Garfield County, where they had that severe thunderstorm warning with that tornado tag. We got to check on the rotation with this. Right now, any rotation is going to be east of Enid, near the Enid Woodring Airport, and it's going to be east of North Enid. Really got to watch this area closely as well. If you're in downtown Enid, if you're out by Oakwood Mall, this storm is east-northeast of you, moving away. Still finding an area of rotation, though. This is going to be just north of the fertilizer plant as you cross over the train tracks, just north of Enid Woodring Airport, moving up to the northeast. That's where that area of rotation is going to be. So if you're watching us in Enid, this storm is on the east side of town, moving up to the northeast. Still seeing that area of spin, though, very close to the fertilizer plant, very close to Enid Woodring Airport. On the left-hand side, that is going to be coming in from Sky 5 near Okarche, just east of Okarche. And let's go back out to Sky 5 if we can. I want to talk to Chase. Chase, give us an update on what you're seeing with your cell, because I feel like things have been changing with every radar scan. What's the update on your cell?
Yeah, that's definitely right, Damon. We're still seeing a lot of activity in this cell right now. It's starting to become rain-wrapped. It's hard to see through it right now. Mark's got a really good shot. He's able to control some of the lighting on the camera. But as I look off to, I don't know what you're seeing on radar, but I'm looking back to the southwest. We're seeing another area of rotation that's looking pretty interesting. We're going to have to keep a close eye on that one, too. But I don't know what you're seeing, if you're seeing anything like that on radar. But we're seeing kind of two areas of lowering and two areas of rotation right now. Damon?
Okay, yeah, we see them there. So we see it on the right, and then I believe another one's gonna be there on the left. But rotation is still moderate. We're still picking up moderate rotation. So this tornado warning is still very much warranted. And my goodness, I mean, we've got Storm Command right here. Nick Bender is right here. We've got Sky 5 right here. We've got Tyler up in Kingfisher. This storm is completely surrounded. I mean, we've got so much technology on this particular cell. It's got the field meteorologist, Michael Armstrong. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing on the ground.
Hey, Damon, we're inside the circulation now. We're in the Bears cage. We're looking straight south. Very low-hanging wall cloud. It's just hovering barely above the ground. I'll tell you if we're going to have a tornado here in just a minute, because this is getting ready to pass through the wind farms along Big 4 Road, just south of Highway 33. This is tough. We have trucks out here driving down Highway 33 that have no idea what's going on. You can see that semi in front of me. Look what's behind me here on my 360 cam. Another one right behind me there, behind my dish. Very, very dangerous. That is a lowering, and this is moving directly toward us, Damon. We're going to cross in front of this. This truck looks like he's trying to get off now. I tell you what, he does not want to be here. This is coming directly this direction. That's a very low-hanging wall cloud. You can see it in my 360 camera right there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Let me turn on my windshield wiper as well. We're in the core, so we're getting some rain from it. This thing is just, I mean, it's just scraping the ground. I don't see a visible condensation funnel coming out of it, but this is serious business right here.
It is, yeah. Not only is the atmosphere serious business for today, but any storm that moves into this part of the state definitely needs to be warranted and warned on. This tornado warning continues until 3:45, another 15 minutes. Michael, right in the hail core. Not a lot of large hail with this cell, looking about quarter-size hail. But as this storm moves north of the warm front, as it goes into the colder atmosphere, it's definitely going to at least have the threat of producing even larger hail. So that is exactly where the rotation is. If you're in Okarche, you're okay. Moving up to the northeast, We've got Lovell at 402. We've got Marshall at 413. So you can see as of right now, this cell expected to remain over some rural land. I know it is someone's land, but at least we're going to keep it away from some of these towns that are going to be in this part of the state, getting ready to make its way over. This is going to be the Cimarron River that snakes its way around. So on the left-hand side of your television screen, Michael has just come out of what he calls the bear's cage, now coming into the rain-free area. So good visual right into it. As the radar sweep goes by, that circulation is going to be located just 2 miles south of Michael. That's what you see on the left-hand side of your television screen. Sky 5 is looking right into the cell as well, looking up to the northwest, looking into that storm, and this is where that circulation remains. Right now, this is the only tornado warning that we currently have in the state. Now, we do have a bunch of other tornado warnings that are knocking on the door of Oklahoma that we're going to get to in just a second. It's not going to be long before we get these tornado warnings coming in to western Oklahoma. Out to Abigail for an update.
Really quick, our friends in Cashin and Twin Lakes, we know the sirens are sounding there for you. In Cashin, there are 2 public shelters that you can get to. Other than the school, the Cashin Fire Department has a basement, and also the Cashin Christian Church has a basement. So if you're in Cashin, you need a hustle, but we know that the sirens are sounding there. If you don't have time to get to those, innermost room in your house. Also, for our friends in Enid, Damon. Oh, Michael Armstrong.
Let's go to Michael.
Big tornado.
Okay, Michael, go.
Rapid developing rotation. Rapid rotation right now underneath the wall cloud. This is just south of Highway 33. Damon, I can't see condensate on the ground, but it is possible. It is possible that there is a tornado on the ground there. There's rapid rotation right underneath that wall cloud.
We see it, yeah. Let's keep up Michael's shot. Let's also go to Sky 5. Sky 5 is going to be looking right into the heart of this cell. That's a tornado trying to develop right here. So on the left-hand side of your television screen, that is what Sky 5 is looking at in the air. That is what we see on the ground. So we have this storm surrounded. Once again, this is a tornado warning. You see that lowering.
Get on the other side of this
That's
pole.
it. Trying.
Yeah. There you go. Stop. No, I want just right here.
Okay, Michael, we see this developing right in front of you, Michael.
Yes. There is a funnel, definite funnel halfway to the ground, rapid rotation, developing tornado right now.
Yep, we see it. Let's go out to Sky 5.
There's actually 2 areas.
Yep, go ahead, Michael.
Well, there's 2 areas. There's one area that's I'm look at how low the wall cloud is over here. I'm not sure which one. And we may have 2 tornadoes develop here. That's how crazy this is.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Michael. I think we do have 2 tornadoes trying to develop. That's a lowering, and there's another lowering to the right.
300 yards down the road.
Let's go out to Sky 5. Talk to Chase Rutledge. Chase Rutledge, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon, I think we're seeing the same 2 areas of rotation that Michael's seeing. This one is definitely the one that's closest to the ground that we can see from our vantage point. The other one was further to the southwest. We're going to keep an eye on this one. I'm going to keep my naked eye on the one to the southwest just to see if it develops anymore. It looks like it's kind of breaking up and lifting a little bit, but this one still looks interesting, still looks like it's on the ground there. I don't know if that's the one that Michael's closest to, but we're going to keep an eye on this because this could definitely cause some damage in this area. If you're in this area, please take your tornado precautions. Listen to the guys there back at the station and our storm chasers on the ground because we will get you through this whole thing this afternoon. But right now, definite areas of rotation in this area. Damon?
Yeah, Chase, we're watching your shot. So let's put up the radar real quick. Need to check real quick on show who's in the path of this storm, and then Michael, Chase, Nick Bender. We've got this storm surrounded. This is what we're looking at. This is that tornado warning. There's that inflow. That's exactly where that storm's going to be located. That is where it is spinning. The rotation continues to increase as the storm is moving up to the north. Crescent, we are watching this closely for you. Cimarron City, we're watching this. Cashin, you're okay. This storm's going to just barely stay northeast of you. Kingfisher, you should be okay as well as the storm pulls up to the northeast as well. Although Kingfisher, I know you have that warning overhead, but the bulk of this rotation is a few miles to the east, northeast, moving up to the north. Hey, Jonathan, how's velocity look within this? Let's get a rotation check on this, because from what we see from radar, yeah, that's getting his act together.
This is the strongest velocity, and this is the strongest the mesocyclone has been with this storm since it started. Damon, this is a classic supercell. It still has plenty of warm air and fuel for the next 30 miles, so it is still ramping up. It is It has not collapsed. It's still maturing. So we really got to watch it again. And the problem, it's so low to the ground, and we don't need it to condensate all the way down. Just look for those little suction spots on the ground. And because it's so humid right now, we may not even see it on the ground. But again, on radar, very strong circulation.
Yeah, it is ramping up, and you can see right there, rotation tracker has really ramped up. That is moderate rotation. Now, this is going to be over some open land, but to kind of give you an update on where we are, we're in Kingfisher County. This is the Cimarron River. You can see with our high-resolution data right here. So we're just about 3 miles to the west of the Cimarron River as you go into eastern Kingfisher County. We are east of Kingfisher, and this tornado warning continues until 4:15. It's only 3:35. We still have a ways to go with this storm as it moves up to northeast, but just look at that shot on the left-hand side. You can see Sky 5 really showing that rotation. You can see those clouds. They're just spinning. The dynamics today are incredible, not only for this part of the state, but also for storms that are moving to the west and down to the southwest. So let's see here. Tornado warning remains in effect for Kingfisher County. Again, that tornado warning continues for Kingfisher County, and this new warning now goes until 4:15. So this is going to be moving up to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. That is where the rotation is. So Lovell, Marshall, Crescent, Cimarron City. This is going to be your storm. You can see the newest tornado warning polygon goes up to Orlando. Does not include Kingfisher anymore. So Kingfisher, you're now okay. But this is definitely exactly where we're looking at, just northwest of Cashin. And once again, this is the strongest couplet that we have seen on radar so far today. And it's getting ready to cross right over the Cimarron River. This is the Cimarron River. So we're about 5 miles east of Kingfisher. This is lifting up to the northeast. You can see that inflow, and Sky 5 is just looking right into the heart of the storm. I mean, my goodness, can't get any closer than that. There's Storm Command on the ground. Let's go back out to Michael Armstrong. Michael, still watching this storm closely. Rotation continues to increase on our end, and give us an update on what you're seeing.
Damon, I think tornado is imminent. Radar confirmed tornado now on the new tornado warning. It's now radar confirmed. I don't see the visible condensation, but I'm telling you, we just went through some serious inflow just a minute ago with rain curtains wrapping as they moved right over Highway 33 in front of us. We crossed through the circulation underneath it. We're moving back over to Highway 74, and we're going to go north. But anybody who lives I would say, 7 or 8 miles west of Crescent, it is going to be a rural area there west of Crescent. Lovell is going to be the next place potentially in line for this tornadic thunderstorm. And so if you live in Lovell, you have to take shelter. If you live in Marshall, you have to take shelter now.
Yes, you're exactly right there. You have to take shelter as the storm continues to move up to the northeast. It's about to move out of Kingfisher County, and it's about to move into Logan County with this storm right here. So this area of rotation, it's going to be concentrated right there, right on the Cimarron River. But as we look up into these communities of Crescent, Lovell, Orlando, this storm moving in your direction. And remember, you're under this PDS tornado watch that remains in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. So it's only 3:30 in the afternoon. We still have a ways to go. We're going to see many waves of severe weather threats, not only from a tornado side, but also from the flooding side that's going to come in as we go into the overnight here. So that's where the rotation is, moving up to the northeast. Not a big hail producer, but that rotation continues to get even more and more significant with every passing radar scan as it moves up to the northeast. On the left-hand side of your television screen, that is coming in from Sky 5, currently near Cashin, and with the storm speed up to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour, it's going to move in fast. It is going to move in fast for sure. If you're watching elsewhere, if you're watching in central Oklahoma, southern Oklahoma, what do you need to know? We're going to see that risk continue as we go into the overnight. Jonathan, let's pull on out. Let's show what's happening out across northern Oklahoma with that warning that we had for Garfield County that has that tornado tag still attached to it. Because I know that we've got a lot of storms that are moving in from Bremen to Ponca City, Ponca City, you're not included in the tornado watch, although we are seeing at least some strong winds. And so we're going to watch for some quick spin-up tornadoes within these within this line here. This is moving away from Enid, moving towards eventually Breckenridge, and moving at a fairly quick speed here, but still finding at least our storm impact, showing hail, not a lot of large hail, but some hail, and at least some spin in the atmosphere. So putting a storm track with this line, moving to the east-northeast, Fairmont now, Salt Fork at 3:45. We go to Tonkawa at 4:14, Ponca City 4:30. Ponca City, Kate County, I know you're not included in the tornado watch, but the tornado watch lines are not black and white. It's a shade of gray, and these storms can still continue to spin even as they go north and northeast, with this line and this cluster continuing to move up to the northeast here. Cost City at about 5:04 with this cluster of storms. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. And this warning inside of a tornado watch. So PDS tornado watch to be exact. These are rare tornado watches that we have with these cells as they move up to the northeast here. So that's the latest right there with that severe thunderstorm warning that we have. Let's go back out to Michael Armstrong. Michael, out to you we go. Give us an update. I know conditions are changing every minute. What we see on radar, well-defined hook echo. Give us an update on what you're seeing.
Absolutely, Damon. This thing continues to move up to the northeast. So what that means for people up here is that eventually this is going to cross Highway 81. I believe where that's going to happen, Damon, is very near the town of Marshall. So this circulation is going to pass real close to Marshall from the way it looks right now. Tornado vortex signature continues on radar. I don't have any visual confirmation because the storm is moving so fast. We do have to reposition. I know you have Sky 5 there, so it'll be interesting to see what he sees. I think we had a tornado pass pretty close right in front of us, right along Highway 33. I mean, the rain curtains were just wrapping so quickly, even though we didn't have a visible condensation funnel all the way to the ground. That's an important point for people to actually know and to remember, is that you don't always have to see a funnel all the way to ground to have a tornado. And that's pretty much what we just witnessed just a moment ago, just northwest of Cashin. Thankfully, it missed Cashin and it missed Kingfisher, but it might not miss Lovell or Marshall. So that's why those areas really do need to, they need to take their tornado precautions. That's what they need to do.
Yeah, especially on a day like today, if you have a tornado warning issued, definitely want to take your tornado precautions. This is not going to be one of those days where, you know, you go outside, you look for it, you wait until it gets close. These storms are moving pretty quickly. So that's the latest with this cell moving up to the northeast. Let's go out to western Oklahoma. We have tornado warnings that are now crossing out of the Texas Panhandle and are about to come into western Oklahoma. So it's only a matter of time before we have Eric, Hex, Sayre, Elk City included in tornado warnings. These are just knocking on the door of Oklahoma. This atmosphere is still very unstable, and we have 2 tornado warnings. Both of these are currently over in Texas, Wellington, Texas, Childress, Texas, but they're about to cross into western Oklahoma, and it's not going to be long given the speeds that we have before we're going to start hearing the siren sounding in communities out across the west. So let's go out to Shane Helton. Shane, watching the storm that's currently out near Wellington, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, David, I'm actually heading south from Eric here. I stopped at Eric a few moments ago, got fuel, and I had talked with a couple of folks and told them make sure that you're paying attention. And that goes for everybody out here in western Oklahoma, well, actually all over the state of Oklahoma. But as I come around this storm, I'm starting to get a little bit of rain. I'm not seeing the rain-free base yet, but I can see where their heavy rain is coming out of the storm. So I'm going to try and get around that as quickly as possible here so we can get around it and actually see the rain-free base. And we know that this storm does have that tornado warning, and it's been on it for a little while. So I think this is going to be one of the main players today in our severe weather coverage.
It will.
On it.
Yeah, it definitely will. And Shane's going to be watching this storm closely for you there, as well as the entire team. But Shane's going to be on this cell from, if you're in Elk City, Sayre, Hext, we're watching this cell closely for you. What I'm concerned about with this cell, moving up to the northeast, is that this cell is going to move into more instability. So here's a timeline. Eric, I'd be prepared for this storm to become tornado warned soon. Same thing for Delhi, Hext, and Mayfield. There's your storm track. There's a boundary out across northeastern parts of Kingfisher County. Let's go back over to the radar and let's go up into, let's go back up to Kingfisher County. Watch this tornado warning that we have on the left-hand side. You can see it's coming in from Cashin. Let's go with the Michael Armstrong. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing.
A very, very tight what we call gate to gate. What that means is the radar, as it's sitting out its energy, it's bouncing off the raindrops and whatever else is in there. And when it goes really fast, right next to each other, what the radar's picking up on is the rotation in the cloud base. Very dangerous situation right now for those in Lovell and anywhere in rural areas west of Crescent, Damon. Strong indication right now of a tornado on radar. We're going to be able to have eyes on it here in about another 5 minutes. We're moving straight up Highway 74 toward Crescent, and I know you guys have had the helicopter around it. Let me know if you still have Sky 5 there. Be interested in what he's seeing. It really looks visually like, based on radar, that there's a tornado.
Yeah, no, this thing is, the Sky 5 is right on this, and you can see that storm is getting, in the last 30 seconds, that cloud, that wall cloud continues to get lower and lower. This is getting even, this storm is still strengthening. It has not maxed out yet. It is still strengthening. Sky 5 is as close as you can get to this storm. Let's go up to Sky 5 right now. Chase Rutledge, we are watching your storm closely. Your storm is not done yet. This storm continues to get stronger and stronger, and we can see it in your shot.
Yeah, that's right, Damon. And I know you can see, like you were saying, at times it got so close to the ground, it looked like it was touching the ground, and we were questioning whether or not it had enough rotation to be a tornado. But it's slow rotation, but we are watching it. It just keeps dipping and touching the ground. Like you said earlier, we're about as close as we can get, and I can tell you that inflow into this storm is really strong. So there's a lot of dynamic motion in this storm that could really produce something at any minute. I know this is the same thing that Michael is seeing on radar, so we're going to keep a close eye on this, because this could very well impact people in its path here in just the next few minutes. Damon.
Chase, that's on the ground. Chase, that is on the ground. That tornado is on the ground. That is a tornado right there. So yeah, that is on the ground. That is a tornado. Well, yeah, that thing touched the ground. Okay, yeah, okay. Is a tornado right there. That is on the ground. We can see it. Mark Frickland and Chase Rutledge are there, and I see some lights. This thing is coming up on something. There it is right there. There's a tornado right there. That is a tornado that is on the ground, moving quickly up to the northeast. This could be, that's either some car lights or something, but that tornado is on the ground. That continues to move, and there it is. There it is right there. So that is a tornado moving up to the northeast. That is on the ground. Sky 5 looking right into this cell. Once again, this storm continues to get even stronger and stronger. Velocity is increasing, and this thing continues to get even more pronounced. Once again, this is a tornado that continues to move across open field. You're looking at it from Sky 5 right now, and this is going to get even stronger. You see a bunch of trees there in the way. It looks like there's a farmland that's going to be right there in the bottom of your television screen. Let's see what else we have in the path of this. Let's see here. There's a farm. Looks like I see a couple power poles that are about to have the circulation pass right over. I have to see if there's any power flashes, but that continues. Look at all that spray that is on that cell, on that storm. Moving to the east here, definitely some very rural land, which is, if you're going to have a tornado out here in Oklahoma, that's where you want it to be. But that continues to get even stronger. The velocity inside the storm continues to get even more pronounced. You can see there's suction spots all along this cell as it's moving up to the northeast. There's definitely a big field of trees. I'm telling you right now, if you're going to have a tornado, we like that we don't see any structures in any homes right now, at least in this shot from Sky 5. But that is continued strength. It looks like we have something right there. We're going to keep a close eye on that. Looking for power flashes right now, but that storm ramped up pretty fast, and that did touch the ground. Moving to the east, northeast very quickly. You can see Sky 5 is flying pretty fast along the side of the cell, moving at speeds about 45 miles per hour with this storm moving up to the northeast. So once again, this is a tornado warning now crossing into Logan County, western and northwestern Logan County with this cell. You can see this is definitely well pronounced lowering. So there's a home right there. It looks like there's a shop that's going to be in the path of this. Hopefully it stays just north. Yeah, it looks like that shop, the storm's going to miss that shop. Definitely going to have a lot of farm equipment in there. So right now we continue with this tornado warning moving up to the northeast at speeds of about 30 to 40 miles per hour. This tornado has been skipping along the ground, but it did ramp up there just momentarily. And it's not done at all. Not done at all. Looks like we have some more farm equipment that's going to be in the path of that. This storm continues to definitely spin hard. The rotation has ramped up, and it has ramped up fast. We are just west of Crescent. Let's go out to Michael Armstrong right now. Crescent, this cell is very close to you. Michael, go ahead and go.
Sorry, my IFB. I'll have to probably dial back in, Shelby. Losing IFB.
Okay, Michael, his IFB is bouncing in and out. Here's what I want to do. I want to keep this shot up, but we got to show exactly what the rotation is showing on the radar as well. That is that. So just west of Crescent, that is where our rotation is strongest right now. And this storm is moving up to the northeast. Let's go back out to Michael. Michael, our radar has really ramped up with the rotation tracker. Give us an update from what you see on the ground.
Yeah, Damon, there's a lot of people freaking out right here in Crescent. There are fire trucks out all over the place. People are pulling off the road. I just can't believe how many people are out on the roads today after we've said over and over and over again the danger. Listen, there's the tornadoes just to our west, northwest. I'm going to pan my camera back around here. It is such a hazy, milky sky that you have to be right almost next to the tornado to be able to see it. Oh, I do see the lowering, though, just over here. Guys, right over those trees, Kyle. Okay, just keep on going. We're good. We're going to parallel the storm now, Damon, right along Highway 74. Very dangerous situation right here. You're going to see the lowering. I'm going to try to zoom in here on comes in my shot. So tornado sirens continue to sound in Crescent. You can see how low it is. That's very, very low, hanging toward the ground. Now back to you.
Yeah, we're watching this. We are watching this once again. Michael's in Crescent. Sirens are sounding. You see more towns popping up or more homes. That is going to be in Crescent. But that tornado, I mean, that thing is scraping the ground. I mean, you can just see it. While you don't see that dark cloud. Oh, go back over. Let's go Sky 5. Sky 5. That thing's touching the ground. That thing is on the ground. Let's go Sky 5 full. This is exactly where we're looking at. Once again, this is very close to Crescent. You can see that right there. That is the tornado. That is the tornado right there as this cell continues to rapidly and quickly move up to the northeast. This is just west and north of Crescent. That is it right there. I know that dark cloud is not on the ground, but that tornado it's on the ground. I know you can see through it, but it's right here. And at times you can see that white there become even more pronounced. But that storm, that tornado warning rightfully warned, the storm rightfully warned. Let's go back out to Michael. Michael, from Sky 5, we can definitely see that it's on the ground. Give us an update from what you see on the ground.
Pull up a little bit. Yeah, the east. We're along East 720. Okay, so that's the road it's getting ready to cross over right now. You can see again emergency personnel driving down the road right here. They can see it as well. So spotters are continuing to track it. We're moving up Highway 74. Damon, I cannot stress enough how badly Lovell needs to be in their shelter. Let's go.
Yeah, we're picking up debris now from what we see from Sky 5. And Sky 5, Mark, if you can zoom in so we can see the ground and see the debris that's getting kicked up within this. But this storm continues to get even stronger and stronger. Right there, that's the spray. That right there, that's the rotation. That is the tornado. Again, you can see that water just getting kicked across getting kicked across the field here. But that's it right there on the left. And so it looks like we got some power poles that are in the way. Definitely have some, there it is right there. That's the tornado. That is the tornado on the ground. This is going to be very close to Crescent, but as you heard Michael mention, Lovell needs to go into their tornado shelter. This is once again a tornado warning. That is a tornado over some open land right now. At times you can see that water just gets sprayed across the field. We've had so much rain lately, so that is a tornado. Let's go out to Sky 5. Hey, Sky 5, we can see that water getting kicked across the field. We can see that tornado. Give us an update. Are there any structures in the path?
Yeah, Damon, we're looking at structures. I mean, what we're seeing, a lot of what you're seeing, as I look ahead of this, we are seeing some farms, we are seeing some things like that. Fortunately, we haven't seen any structures being torn apart by this, but those strong winds that you were talking about sweeping across the grasslands and across these fields, those are strong enough winds to do some damage to some homes, to some barns and areas in that. And now we're seeing another area of rotation just to the south of this. We can zoom out a little bit more, Mark. There's another lowering, and and we want to pay close attention to that too, because it is just behind it. We're starting to see those winds from that on the ground as well, and it has some pretty tight rotation, Damon, just to the left of that. You're seeing it right there in the shot right now.
Yeah.
So we need to watch that. That could produce a tornado if it hasn't already. It looks like it's getting really close to the ground. Yeah, it's getting really close to the ground now. This is going to be a strong tornado right here.
There
this
it is.
Just
Yeah,
to the
let's
south of
zoom
the one
in.
we've
Yeah,
been
zoom
watching.
in.
Damon, back to you.
Yeah, we see that. We see that tornado. There it is right here. This is coming in from Sky 5. Lovell, go into your tornado shelter right now. Once again, this is coming in from Sky 5 and Chase Rutledge. This is a tornado warning. Look at that storm spinning right in front of you. That is headed towards Lovell. Out to Michael we go. Michael, we can see it clearly from Sky 5. What's your vantage point from the ground?
Hey, we just had 2 tornadoes. There's one to the left also. There's one you see in my shot to the right. There's also another one developing behind it. Look at that. You can see them both in my shot right now.
Yeah, okay, so we have 2 tornadoes now happening. 2 tornadoes happening. There's one and there's another. Zoom in on this one. Okay, we've got 2 tornadoes that are now developing. There's a tornado. There's a tornado. What we need to do, we have to put the radar up just so we can show who's in the path of this, but we have to keep these shots hot. So there's a tornado. There's a tornado. 2 tornadoes happening very close to Crescent up towards Lovell. Go into your tornado shelter right now. Once again, there's a tornado and there's a tornado. Both of these are moving quickly up to the northeast at speeds of about 30 to 40 miles per hour. There's a tornado right there. You can see it. Okay, this is becoming more dominant. Mark, if you can zoom in on this right, zoom in on the right-hand side. There you go. That's the tornado right there. There you can see it. That is going to be headed towards Crescent. On the left-hand side, you see the picture coming in from field meteorologist Michael Armstrong and Storm Command. That is it right here. Lovell, go into your tornado shelter. Crescent, you're okay. But anywhere from Lovell, as you go up towards Mulhall and Orlando, this storm is going to continue to spin and make its way up into northern Logan County. You can see there that needle funnel, that needle tornado that's going to be right in front of you, and that continues to move up to the northeast. So very close to Crescent. Crescent, you're okay. I know the sirens have been sounding. This storm is now going to be just north of you. Let's go back out to Michael. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing on the ground.
Damon, I want to be very clear for people who are out here. This is north of Crescent. This is not coming toward Crescent. This is along East 700 Road. That's where the funnel continues to dance. We have seen multiple tornado touchdowns now. And also over here to the left is a huge area of rain that is continuing to spin as well. That's where we had the second tornado just a moment ago. So this is passing. That is East 700 Road right now. And that is going to be 2 miles to the west of Highway 74. That's the location. Man, this is passing crazy close to Lovell. Now look over here, Damon. Oh, look to my right. Another funnel now. Now we're getting another tornado. Look at this one. Oh, man, this thing is just crazy right now. That's throwing out tornadoes left and right.
Oh my, yeah, so this storm is spinning, and it is spinning hard. There is a boundary that the storm is now interacting with that is going to be across Logan County and Kingfisher County, drapes all the way across out to the west, but that is what this storm is currently interacting with. So on the upper left-hand side, that is Sky 5. On the bottom left-hand side, that is going to be field meteorologist Michael Armstrong and Storm Command. This is where the rotation is. Crescent, you're okay. Lovell, you're in your tornado shelter now. Orlando, Mulhall, up towards Marshall. This is moving due up to the northeast, and the environment is still going to produce capable of producing a tornado. This storm is not done yet. It has not yet reached its max potential. As the sweep goes by, we're still finding solid rotation on the left-hand side of let's see, near Sky 5. We can still see that spray that is coming out from this storm spinning overhead. Let's go out the Sky 5 right now. Sky 5, we're looking at your shot. We can see that spray coming from the storm on the ground. Give us an update with what you're seeing from the air.
Yeah, that's right, Damon. If you've been watching our shots just in the past few minutes, it gives you an idea of how quickly these tornadoes can spin up and touch the ground and affect everything underneath it. And you're seeing, I mean, you're not even seeing the tornado visibly, but you're seeing all of that debris and water getting kicked up from the ground and all the movement in the grass and the trees below. So this has already produced multiple tornadoes, and it's not over yet. We're going to keep watching it, but right now, the cell that we're on, if you bring the camera up just a little bit more, you can see that rotation up there in the clouds. That is what's going to produce another tornado here in just a few seconds. We're going to keep an eye on this one, Damon.
Yeah, this storm is definitely one that needs to be watched. We are keeping a very close eye on it. Once again, north of Crescent right now, this storm still spinning. You can just see that rotation once again in the middle of the television screen. This thing has produced 1, 2, 3 tornadoes. And while you don't see that dark cloud touching the ground, you don't have to. You can still see at times this is spitting out dirt, grass, every now and then a tree or two on the bottom. At least we're over some rural land, but just look at that motion. I mean, that thing, it is spinning, and it is spinning hard as it continues to move up to the northeast. So that storm's not done. It is not done yet. Tornado warning continues. It is 4 o'clock. If you're just now getting home from work, what do you need to know? This is an ongoing tornado warning that is going to be out across northern Logan County. This storm continues to rotate, and it's rotating fast. Let's keep this shot up. Let's also put up the radar so we can show exactly who is going to be in the path of this. So that's where the storm is. So if you're going to be Mulhall, Marshall, Orlando, this storm is moving in your path, your direction. You need to go into your tornado shelter or the innermost room of your house, and you need to do it ASAP with this storm, and it's storm speed at about 40 miles per hour, moving up to the northeast. That's where the storm is. We have Sky 5, Nick Bender, Storm Command, all on this storm right now as it continues to just produce multiple funnels. I mean, at one point we had 2, going on almost 3 tornadoes at one point as this storm is just spinning, and it is spinning fast up to the northeast. It's already across the Cimarron River in Mulhall, Orlando. There you go. Our rotation is going to be tightest just north of Crescent, east of Lovell. So Lovell, you're okay. You're barely outside of this. But the way that these towns are in this part of the county, this part of the state, if you're just half a mile outside of the city limits, you're back over some open rural land. If there's anywhere that this tornado is going to cross, this is exactly where we want to see it. And it just crossed over the highway, continues to move up to the northeast. Once again, the left-hand side of your television screen, you're looking at the view of this cell from Sky 5, and you're looking at it from field meteorologist Michael Armstrong and Storm Command. We are going to be 1-2 miles east of Lovell, and we're going to be right along the highway here where our rotation is going to be most significant right now, moving up to the east-northeast. So at this current path, Lovell, you're okay. You're just barely out of the woods out on this one, but still, I know that the sirens are going to be sounding in Logan County, rightfully so, with this storm as it's moving up to the east-northeast. That is where the rotation is, putting a storm track up to the northeast. Ditch Witch headquarters there in Perry. If you have employees there at the office, 4:35 is when this storm is going to be moving in. Perry Elementary, 4:36. We go into Perry Airport at 4:44. These are all the towns that are in the path of this cell. I know there are other towns before this, but right now this current rotation looks like it's going to kind of split the uprights and go in between these communities. We can hope. Red Rock, 4:56. Marlin, 5 o'clock, a little after 5 o'clock. We go into Ponca City. Ponca City, you're not in the tornado warning, but the tornado watch. However, the tornado watch boundaries are not black and white. I know you're not in the watch Ponca City, but we're going to be keeping a close eye on this cell for you. Osage County is in the tornado watch. Ponca City, though, this area of rotation in this storm would move in at 5:20 as it continues to move up to the northeast. So we're going to keep a close eye on this one. Let's go out across western and southwestern Oklahoma. Let's look at the big picture because it is now 4 o'clock. Many more storms are now starting to get warned on, as you can see, out to the west and down to the southwest. So tornado warning down in southwestern Oklahoma. You can see where Shane Helton is located. Stephen Jones is on this cell moving up to the northeast. Hollis, Gould, you're in this tornado warning. We've got a BTI, we've got a tornado index on this one of a 6.1. Anything over a 5 is concerning. And as this storm moves up to the northeast, and in this part of the state that has had a lot of sunshine, a lot of instability today, this one is going to move into an environment that's even more favorable. So at speeds of about 40 miles per hour, we go into Garden Valley, Hollis 418, Hollis at 437. We get into more Oklahoma towns here, Russell, Vinson, and Duke right before 5 o'clock with that storm moving up to the northeast. This cell is going to be the one that Stephen Jones will be on eventually. We also have another storm that's going to be just north that is currently out across Texas. But listen up, if you're in Sayre, if you're going to be in Elk City, we're watching this cell closely for you. There's going to be Shane Helton. He is looking into this, and this is a tornado warning that expires at 4:15, but this storm is currently still in Texas, moving up to the northeast. This one we got to watch close. I know the rains begin to spread into Eric. Hext, and Sayer. Let's go out to Michael Armstrong. Michael, out to you we go. Give us an update on your cell.
Yeah, we still have a tornado right now. You can see it right in front of us. This is getting ready to cross 74. You see the funnel hanging down right here. There is a tornado right here just to the south of Highway 51 and the intersection of Highway 74. That's where we're located right now. It is 2 miles south of Highway 51.
Yeah, we see it. We see that lowering coming. We see that. We definitely see that tornado there in front of you. So that is going to be for this cell that Michael is currently on. So there's Nick Bender. There's going to be Storm Command. Sky 5 looking at as at the cell as well. That rotation still appears to be there. It's so moderate east of Lovell, southeast of Marshall, moving up to the northeast between Orlando and Marshall with this storm once again moving up to the northeast. So rotation here. Starting to see some spin there close to Hennessy. We'll have to keep a close eye on that one as well. But this moves into Lucian at 427. Ditch Witch headquarters at 433. That's going to be on the west side there of Perry. Perry 434. Perry Elementary. Perry Airport. Red Rock at about 4:30 to 4:45. And then we go up in the Sooner Lake at 5 o'clock with this tornado warning. And this rotation continues on the northern end of Logan County, moving up to the northeast. On the left-hand side, you see Sky 5. You see field meteorologist Michael Armstrong. And this tornado warning continues for another 10 minutes. It will likely be extended downstream, as you would imagine, with the pictures that we're still seeing with this. So if you're not currently in a tornado warning, southeastern Garfield County, and as we go into Noble County and Payne County, just know that we're likely going to see this storm hold its own, and so this tornado warning will likely be extended as we go up to the north here. Cannot emphasize enough the dangers with this cell. At least the more it moves north, we're talking about northern Oklahoma, the more likely it is to become more of a hail producer. But still, at this current moment, the tornado risk lives on with this cell. Let's go to Jonathan Conner. Jonathan, definitely a dangerous afternoon unfolding.
Unbelievable, Damon, because that tornado, even though it didn't condensate all the way down to the ground at times, it was on the ground. That's how it works. The mesocyclone works all the way down. Then you see the suction spots, and because we've had so much rain, there's no dust. And so when the suction spots are on the ground, you can't see them. They're like little water vapor. They're kind of dancing around. They're really hard to see, especially with the cloud base being so low. Now, honestly, with this storm, as it tracks to the northeast, I still think it has plenty of room to maintain its supercellular shape. What does that mean? It means tornadic abilities. When we talk about this warm front, which is across the state, it's been lifting to the north ahead of this storm. Earlier, a couple hours ago, that warm front was, just north of OKC. It has literally lifted all the way up to at least Lake Carl Blackwell, okay? So this still has time, still has room to be tornadic. Could it be tornadic all the way to the Perry Airport? Absolutely. The winds ahead of that, even though it might go into a little bit cooler environment, the winds at the surface are more out of the southeast and the east. So this was producing a tornado with south winds. You get induced shear, so the tornado will spin up in the lower parts, the most important part to finally get that tornado to form. That's all about the low-level winds. As it moves to the north, instead of a south wind, like right now, those winds are kind of coming out of the south and produce a tornado. As it gets up towards Perry, those winds are a little bit more out of the southeast. So even though to the north it is a little bit cooler, on the low levels, it will move into an environment that it may spin up. That happens a lot of time. Damon, when these storms pass over the warm front, it's also a little meso area of low pressure, and that will give it an extra kick. This storm is not done. We have to watch this one. Oh, by the way, Damon, there's also a storm over near Hennessy. This is also south of the front. This storm could easily become the next tornadic storm. I'm honestly really concerned about this one. This has a well-defined inflow notch. It's hooking back to the left. Michael Armstrong might want to consider, as he comes north, when he gets to Marshall, coming back west to track that and let Sky 5 track this storm. Worried about that one. That could go tornadic. Got to watch storms down near Kingfisher, and then, of course, the big storms, which are crossing the border in southwestern Oklahoma. So, again, Damon, this atmosphere still volatile.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go check out this tornado warning that's going to be out to the west, out by Watonga. This tornado warning from Hitchcock out towards Watonga. This was just issued just moments ago. So the latest on this cell right here, you can see this is forming into a line, but that's where the tornado, that's where the rotation is going to be from near Carlton, south of Southern, just west of Hitchcock. that area, that storm is spinning right now, moving up to the northeast towards eventually Parvin and Lacey. So putting a storm track on this one, Hitchcock 412, Parvin 429, Lacey 437, Wacomas 458, Vance Air Force Base 502, Oakwood Mall there on the west side of Enid, 504, Enid High School in downtown Enid at 506. That is a tornado warning right there, and that is where the storm is going to be spinning. Also, these cells. I don't like these storms all by themselves down here, down south of Alpha and Kingfisher. So this too is going to become an issue as well, as you can see with these cells moving up to the northeast. So we're gonna need to take some of our chasers and send them a little bit farther to the west with these cells as this entire line continues to move up to the northeast here. And these storms are becoming tornado warned as well. Southwestern Oklahoma has not seen a single storm yet today. And so with this storm moving in, very unstable environment, definitely that needs to be watched too as we're watching these storms move up to the northeast. So the bottom line here is that we have a lot going on now. Tornado warning remains in effect for tornado warning now for Garfield, Logan, and Noble County. That's the storm that we have Sky 5 on, so that tornado warning goes up in the Noble County. We also have a tornado warning for Blaine, Custer, and Dewey County. Tornado, let's see, reported near Fay with that cell right now. And then we have out across western Oklahoma. Let's go up to the north. Let's go up towards Watonga and look at this storm right now, because this storm is definitely concerning, no doubt about it. As you can see here, let's see here, this storm, there you go. So still looking at the rotation within this. Still finding it right now just very close to, let's see, that's Morewood towards Anthony Ray. Rotation very close to Morewood. I don't like seeing that at all. So, and then this tornado warning out towards Watonga, you can definitely see all the our radars now starting to go a little get pretty intense with rotation east of Carlton, south of Southern. That right there, that is rotation. That storm is spinning, moving up to the northeast, north of Watonga. So Watonga, the sirens are sounding. Right now, the motion with this cell, it is moving up to the east northeast with that storm once again. So tornado warning for Hitchcock, Parvy, and eventually looking outside this tornado warning polygon, Lacey, you got to be going into your tornado shelter soon as this cell races up to the northeast at speeds of about 30 to 40 miles per hour. Updated storm track 414, Hitchcock, Parvin 433, Lacey 442, Hennessy 458, Wacomas, and then Vance Air Force Base at 507 and 512 with that cell moving up to the northeast as well. So let's, new tornado warning. We got a couple of people. Let's see, we got to talk to Michael. Let's go out to Michael first. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing with your storm.
Damon, this day is very dangerous. We just watched multiple tornadoes with that storm. It is lifting to the northeast. I know we're keeping Sky 5 on it. We have another storm that does have some rotation that's just to our west. We're actually moving west because the storm that's out near Watonga has rotation. So any of these storms that are up here near the warm front, if you come under a warning, you better just go ahead and take your tornado precautions immediately. I have seen so much rotation, and it's strung out over a elongated area with these storms. So just because you might think a tornado has moved through, don't come out of your shelter yet, because we watched at least 2, if not even 3 tornadoes from the exact same storm just a moment ago that's moving up toward Lucene, and that's going to pass very close to Lucene, just west of Perry.
Yeah, Michael, we're watching your storm. We know that you're on that. So we are now working 1, 2, 3 tornado warnings. Brand new tornado warning was just issued. This entire line is pretty much getting tornado warned now. And out on this cell, there you go, Eric Shane Helton is going to be on this cell looking up to the north, and there's a rotation now crossing out of Texas coming into western Oklahoma. So Shane Helton, if you're in Eric, if you're in Hexas, if you're in Sayre, we know the sirens are now sounding. Let's go to Shane Helton right now. Shane, your storm just became tornado warning. Give us an update.
Yeah, Damon, it actually kind of looked like for a moment that it was going to fall apart, and then it has recycled and is coming back together. I could watch the rain-free base moments ago, but right now I'm kind of in an area where I cannot see the rain-free base. But the reason why, it's not because I'm very far away from the storm. It's because the humidity and the dew point and all that stuff, there's moisture in the air out here. It's so thick you could just about literally cut it with a knife. But I'm coming up on this storm here pretty quick, and I'm hanging all around it. And I'm not seeing anything lowering right now, but it won't be surprising if something does come up here once I top over a couple of hills, Damon. I can see the rain-free base still, but I'm just not seeing anything that is concerning me right now. But I'll be up underneath it here in just a few seconds. Back to you, Damon.
Okay, Shane. So if you're just now tuning in, this is what we're working with right now. We have 5 tornado warnings in the state. So we need to look at all the tornado warnings that we currently have ongoing across western Oklahoma and going into central Oklahoma. So here's the storm track with this tornado warning. That inflow moving to the east goes into Eric, goes into Hex at 4:35 and 4:45. There's a rotation that is going to be right on the state border, moving up to the northeast, goes into Delhi at 4:48, Sayre at 4:57, Carter at 5:04. That area of rotation, that inflow notch, is going to maintain itself as it moves up I-40, and is likely going to continue, as you can imagine, with the ingredients that we have for today. So that's a tornado warning. There's another tornado warning down by Hollis, and then we continue with our tornado warnings out across northern Oklahoma. Let's go to Michael Armstrong right now. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Damon, very, very strong rotation right now, just northeast of Hennessy, moving toward Douglas. Oh my gosh, this rain-free base is just huge. It is absolutely huge out here, and so it's very difficult to pinpoint exactly where the tornado is without a full condensation funnel, but it looks like it's just a few miles to my northwest based on the velocities there. It's going to be moving up toward Douglas. Also, we have the storm that's back near Hitchcock, north of Watonga. So we're trying to keep an eye on all of these storms right now. It's getting very difficult here, again, along the warm front with all these storms rotating. So I would say areas up near Covington and Douglas and Fairmont, just be ready. Be ready to take your tornado precautions. There's really strong rotation indicated on radar. I don't have anything visually to confirm with you right now that there's a tornado, but I'll tell you, these are, man, anytime you see a rotation like that on radar, and I know you guys are looking at it, you might even be able to pull up a rotation tracker. I mean, it looks significant.
It really does look significant, and I know the sirens are sounding in Perry and Perry. This is why the sirens are sounding, because of this cell right here that is going to be just west and northwest of Orlando. We're still seeing at least signs of rotation, still finding moderate rotation. So Perry, this is for you. Ditch Witch headquarters, storm moves in at 4:33. Right now it is 4:16. Perry Elementary, 4:35. Perry Airport, 4:43. Tonkawa at 5:11. We're going to reconnect on this storm, but we have 5 tornado warnings that we are currently working right now. Jonathan's go a little bit farther to the west, and let's just work our way down every single tornado warning that we now have in place. Here's another warning. This storm still shows signs of spin. This is a severe thunderstorm warned, headed up towards eventually Covington, just east of Wacomas. Track up to the east on that brings in the Callahan at 4:50, Covington 4:50, Garber at 5:06. There's an area of rotation very close to Lacey as well. Let's go out to the west. You can see that area of rotation right here, 2 areas of spin. That's what Storm Command is on. Also finding some rotation as you go out towards Lacey. This storm is going to be warned on at least a couple areas of rotation. That one near Hitchcock, another one up near Lacey. Watching this line of storms moving up to the east, northeast. We're not done. We have another area of rotation. Let's go and zoom on this one. There's an area of spin very close to Lacey. Other one very close to Hitchcock as well. As you can see, just in between Hitchcock and Parvin, moving up to the northeast with that cell. So that storm is tornado warned. And then another tornado warning as we go out to the west and as we go west of Elk City. This is actually going to be this cell. From Geronimo, Eric, Hex, we have Shane Helton looking into this storm. That's that inflow right there. Let's go out to Shane Helton if we can. I want to get an update. Shane's looking right into this storm. So if you're in Eric, Hex, Sayre, up towards eventually Elk City, we are watching this one closely for you. Shane, give us an update on your storm and what you're seeing in front of you. Okay, we'll get Shane on in just a second. All right. So that's a Shane storm that you can see his locator. Then as we go down to the south, we have yet another tornado warning that is going to be in southwestern Oklahoma. That storm is going to be tornado warned, and that is going to be down by Hollis. So as you can see here, tornado warnings now for multiple counties on the bottom of your television screen. Tornado warnings are sounding in Perry. We're pretty much checking up on every single storm, as you can imagine here. That cell moving up to the northeast as well. So we're going to be north of Quanah. Putting a storm track up to the northeast, we're going to Hollis, Duke, Mangum at about 5 o'clock. Okay, let's go back up to the north. Shane Helton, we have him on the phone. Shane, give us an update on what you're seeing with your storm. Okay, it looks like Shane just dropped off of that one. So, again, you can imagine in western Oklahoma, cell phone connection is typically hard to get. So, and then that very well could be another cell. Look at an inflow there. It's being Texas. So if you're out in Elk City and Eric, watching this cell, this area of rotation may be weakening. That might become the new area, the new inflow notch that we're finding right now that is going to be south of Shamrock and north of Aberdeen. So in Eric, Hex, Sayre, Elk City, we are watching this cell closely as it continues to move up to the northeast. So yes, we are working a handful of tornado warnings right now. Let's go all the way back up to the northeast, and we'll just go back down the line. Garfield to Noble County we go, and that is going to be the storm that we have Sky 5 currently on. This is going to be the tornado warning for Perry. This is going to be the storm that is going to, it's pretty much developed just near Chickasha, and now it's going to be up near Perry. These storms are moving fast. So in Perry, I know the sirens are sounding. Perry, this is the storm, and this is the reason why those sirens are sounding. Sky 5 is looking right into this storm for you. You can see on the upper left-hand side of your television screen, we're west of Stillwater. Stillwater, you're okay with this storm, but this storm continues to move up to the northeast. So we know the sirens are sounding in Perry. We're going to watch this one pretty closely going up to the northeast. Oh, Eric, okay, let's go out to Eric Kelly right now. Eric, we have you live on the KOCO 5 airwaves, and give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, so we're watching this cell that's just southwest of Hollis produce a tornado about 45 minutes ago down in Paducah, Texas. Now crossing over into Oklahoma. Lost a little bit of its punch. We actually had two cells that merged together. Any of the rotation right now is actually in the middle of the storm, but we're watching it to see if it kind of redevelops as it crosses the border.
Okay, Eric, I know we'll be chatting with you throughout the afternoon, so thank you, Eric, for joining us here in the KOCO 5 airwaves. We see that storm that you are currently looking at. It is going to be that area of rotation just south of Hollis, moving up to the northeast. This storm, all by itself, definitely has the potential to become even more significant. So Gould at 438, Reed at 501, Mangum at 510, Hester, and then Blair at 511 and 518. This is an isolated supercell. These are always the ones that can become even more significant and more substantial as they're all by themselves, moving into a very unstable atmosphere. We have Chris Lee, Stephen Jones, Eric Kelly on this cell right now. As we look back up to the north, you can see here's going to be Storm Command looking into this cell right here that is going to be very close to Marshall. We also have Nick Bender. He's going to be in Lovell, watching that cell that's moving up towards Covington and Douglas. And then we have another storm that's going to be southwest. So as we look at our rotation tracker, look at our velocity, this cell headed up towards Perry still continues to show rotation, still properly warned on, definitely with this environment. This cell that Storm Command is on, down by Marshall, you see it on the left-hand side of your television screen, that storm moving up to the northeast. So let's go out to Michael Armstrong. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing from your cell.
Damon, just southwest of Marshall along Highway 51. We're looking at an area. I don't want to paint the picture like everybody's having a tornado, but I just looked over at Kyle just a second ago and I said, I think the whole sky's spinning. I mean, Damon, when you're up here near this warm front, where I'm at in northern Oklahoma right now, anywhere along this front, any sort of just updraft spins. There's just so much rotation in the atmosphere that can be drawn up. And so, like rain showers can be tornadic today. I mean, that's how wild it is. So you're seeing multiple lowerings, and no matter where I pan on my 360 camera, up and down, just along Highway 51, you see more lowerings. And for instance, I just looked at a cell that's down near Kingfisher. It's got pretty strong rotation, and I don't even think it has a strike of lightning with it. It's straight west of Kingfisher, probably very near Lacey. That's going to be moving up to the northeast to near Dover and toward Hennessy. So we're going to target that storm for right now, unless something else we see catches our eye. But this storm has really come up quickly southwest of Dover.
It has, yeah, and I expect that a lot of storms are going to come up quickly today as these storms continue to move up to the northeast here. So it's only 4:23 in the afternoon. This is usually when we reach that max heating, that peak heating of the day. This instability is going to continue, and you can see our rotation. Our rotation is really starting to ramp up. Sky 5 is right in front of it. As a matter of fact, Sky 5. Let's go ahead and go full with Sky 5. If you're living in Perry right now, Perry, this is what you need to know. This storm has had a history of producing tornadoes, and it still continues to produce that significant rotation that we see on radar moving up to the northeast. So this storm is not done yet. Right now, Sky 5 is going to be southwest of Perry. Let's go out to Chase Rutledge right now. Chase Rutledge, we are watching the storm. Chase, we know the storm has produced many tornadoes throughout the afternoon. Really in the last hour, they've been hopping across the ground, but the rotation still seems pretty strong. What are you seeing from up in the air looking into the cell?
Oh, yeah, that's right, Damon. Like you said, it's been very active. This cell, what we're looking at right here is just to the south of Lucene, like you said, just southwest of Perry. And moments ago, right before you went to Michael, we had rotation and we had some debris on the ground, had some rotation spinning up, and then it went right back into the cloud. But it just goes to show you that this at any time could produce a rapidly spinning vortex and a rapid tornado that could do a lot of damage in this area. So people in Perry, people in Lucene, you need to really get ready with your tornado precautions, because at any time this could produce a tornado headed your direction. Damon?
Yeah, and we can definitely see that the visibility, it's very hazy with this storm. It's very, very low cloud deck. Just one of those days where visibly hard to see. You can definitely see some light in there. I saw that. But this cloud just continues to get lower and lower and lower. So if you're in Perry, once again, Perry, you need to be going into your tornado shelter, innermost room of your house. Abigail just informed me that the Ditch Witch headquarters, they let everybody out of work early today, rightfully so, but you can see that rotation right near Lucene, moving up to the northeast. This is the same cell, the same storm that produced multiple tornadoes at one point about 30 minutes ago. Fast-moving storms, still moving about 40 to 45 miles per hour. So Ditch Witch headquarters, which I know is very close to Perry Elementary, 436, 437 Perry Elementary, Red Rock 456, Sooner Lake 503. We go into Marlin at 506, Ponca City 522, Ponca City High School and Ponca City Airport right before 5:30. I know Ponca City, you're not included in this tornado watch. However, the lines of this watch it does not stop at the county. Okay, very well could bleed even a couple a county or two deep. So you got to watch that one. This cell right here continues to show increasing rotation from Loyal west of Dover. That is moving up to the northeast, putting a storm track on that cell. Hennessy at 447, moving at speeds about 45 miles per hour. It's going to move in fairly quickly. Marshall 507, Covington at 519 with that cell. Abigail, I know you have a lot of information to pass along. Give us an update on the news desk.
Storm sirens now sounding for our friends in Red Rock, just a little bit north of the Perry storm that we're tracking. Also from the Perry Police Department, there are no official public shelters in Perry. So innermost room in your house, storm shelter in Perry. And like you said, Ditch Witch went home early. Also Langston, I've heard from a few of you in that area. Langston University canceled class today as well. Here in the Metro, Damon, I quickly want to mention as people make their plans for this afternoon and this evening, we are supposed to tell you, do not seek shelter in those underground tunnels in the downtown Oklahoma City area. Many of you have thought about that. You're making your plans. Those are subject to flooding, so you don't want to be there here in Oklahoma City as you make your plans for severe weather later tonight. Damon, back to you.
Yeah, great advice there. I know a lot of us are trying to find shelters, and once again, there are a couple, but still, that is not one, and never under a bridge. Never under a bridge. Watching this cell over Dover. That's still showing rotation, moving up to the northeast. That's all by itself has good inflow into it. That one could very well produce a tornado. Let's go all the way out across into western Oklahoma. We'll go out to Shane Helton on his storm, because moving into western parts of the state, we can see many more cells now coming in. So there's Shane looking right into this and looking into Eric. That inflow is coming right on in. Shane, very concerned about this storm that is just north of you. Moving into Eric, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon, this storm has a lot of motion right here underneath what the rain-free base area. This, what you're seeing right here in the center of the screen is, I'm not ready to call it a wall cloud yet, but this is the area that something may end up happening. There's underneath all this motion, it'll look like it's starting to spin, like it's got a lot of rotation, then it kind of go away and another area will spin. But this one spot right here that you see right in the center of the screen, this is the area that I'm watching very closely because this is what might actually turn into a wall cloud. But as of right now, I'm not ready to call it a wall cloud, and we're going to give it a few more minutes. Back to you, Damon.
All right, well, we are watching it and knowing the environment that we currently have out across western Oklahoma. That risk for tornadoes still once again continues. So still seeing that inflow notch and right over Eric. I know the sirens are sounding right now in western Oklahoma from Eric to Hex to Sayre up to Elk City. So here's a storm track right now. Eric 433, Hex 444, Sayre 456, Berlin 509, Hawker, Merritt 510, Elk City, and then the Elk City Regional Airport 522, 524. This storm all by itself has good inflow into it. Very concerned and that this storm will likely increase. And Shane is going to continue to be is going to continue to chase this cell. We also have Brian Dixon, who is going to be on this storm as well, looking into it. So we have this storm covered. We have it covered just as much as it needs to be as this cell continues to move up to north. I do not like this storm. I mean, there are a lot of storms that I don't like right now, but this one I really don't like. It is all by itself. It is in an atmosphere that is very unstable. It shows rotation. This is going to be over that. It's in Texas. We're just going to be south of the Red River here, but this cell I don't like. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to keep saying that. Any supercell, any storm that is all by itself like this one is, in southwestern Oklahoma where we had quite a bit of warming today, we had sunshine instability, this one could do some bad things. So Gould at 451, Duke at 505, Mangum 521, Hester, Martha, Blair 521 to 528 with that cell as it continues to move up to the northeast. Stephen Jones, we're going to get Stephen Jones out on this cell because Stephen's going to be looking right into this. And again, this storm moving fairly quickly up to the northeast, about 45 miles per hour. Needs to be watched. Jonathan, you and I mentioned it earlier, these discrete supercells, these are the bad ones. There are a lot of bad storms out there, but these are the bad ones. Not liking that cell down there at all.
It's all about the environment which is available for these thunderstorms and, again, the positioning of the warm front. So there's a lot going on here with the overall weather setup right now. So basically, as we had the south winds today come in, that pushed the warm front, and that's the warm front right there. Ahead of it, any discrete supercell that fires in that environment, that's a very significant concern. That's why we're watching the Hollis storm very closely. We're watching Shane's storm very closely. But also any storm that latches onto the boundary, like the storm that Michael's looking at, or the storm near Kingfisher, the one near Watonga. Sometimes when they latch onto that boundary, there's a lot of low-level shear and just enough to get those storms to really rotate really hard and produce tornadoes. Now, right now, Oklahoma City, right now, we're kind of in the clear. I don't see any development down to our south and southwest. We haven't had any warm sector. That's what we call this area here, the warm sector, which is very hot, very humid. We don't see anything bubbling up right now. If something did, we're going to have to put the metro back on heightened alert because we're still several hours out from those storms out in southwestern Oklahoma to come in the metro. But that's people have texted me, hey, when are they coming into OKC? Well, it depends if storms fire between Lawton and OKC next few hours, and then obviously the southwestern storms, how long it takes for them to get in. But OKC, I think next few hours, at least the next hour, we're okay.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Let's go back up to Perry. Go check on this cell up in Noble County, where we have Sky 5 currently on, because we know that the sirens are still sounding, still finding this storm is coming in fast into Perry right now. Perry, I know the winds there, if you go outside in Perry, which you shouldn't, but if you were, you'd feel those winds coming in and at least keeping this threat alive. There's definitely rotation with this, and we do have Sky 5 that's up in the upper left-hand side of your television screen. So if there's any tornado with this cell, you're going to see it right now, though. Let's zoom in tight into Perry, where, Jonathan, you just highlighted where that circulation is going to be. We're going to be in the north side of Perry, just north of the Ditch Witch headquarters, just north of Perry Elementary. Our rotation tracker still finding some areas of rotation on the northwest side, but this storm and this area of rotation could very well just barely miss Perry, but still has eyes on Perry Airport. You can see this tornado warning continues for Perry Airport. Does not include Billings, does not include Marlin or White Eagle, or as you go into eastern Cade County, but putting a storm track up to the northeast. Perry Elementary right about now, Perry Airport 442. We go in the Red Rock at 452, Marlin at 502. So the tornado warning has been canceled for Garfield County with this cell, but the tornado warning continues for Noble County with this storm as it continues to move up to the northeast. That's where the rotation is going to be located. Sky 5 is going to be on this storm, and we look at Sky 5 shot, see if there's any type of lowering with this cell. It's going to be there in the upper left-hand side of your television screen. So tornado warning canceled for Garfield County. Tornado warning still continues for Noble County, Harmon, and Beckham. Tornado warning has been canceled, by the way, for Blaine County. So Blaine County, no longer in a tornado warning. Garfield County, no longer in a tornado warning. But Noble, Harmon, and Beckham County still included in tornado warning. And so once again, if you're in your Perry, you need to be in your tornado shelter as this storm continues to move up to the northeast. Upper left-hand side of your television screen, that's coming in from Sky 5. Sky 5 is going to be looking right into Perry. So not seeing any tornado out of Sky 5, which is good. It looks like that rotation, though, still happening in the mid-layers of the atmosphere. As these storms continue to move more and more up to the north, they will at least begin to see slightly less and lower tornado risk. Look at this right here. Starting to find at least this area. We got a couple areas out near Lacey, and as you go out towards Hennessy, this complex is still spinning. Let's go with the field meteorologist, Michael Armstrong in Storm Command. Michael, we're watching your storms right now. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, we are concerned about this storm, very concerned about this storm southwest of Hennessy, Damon. I don't think it has a tornado warning, but I'll just tell you the cloud base is very low. Kyle, can you switch me over to 360, please? It is, this thing is, need to try it again, Kyle. We're headed down Highway 81. And we're just south of Hennessy right now by a couple of miles. And this storm is wrapped up, Damon. It's got a hook echo on it, straight southwest of Hennessy. Kyle, let's slow down and look for a spot to look for here. We're kind of watching the trees here to see if we're starting to get any inflow. Right now, we still have winds out of the west at the moment. But this storm, it has an ominous appearance, Damon, and I saw this just a little bit ago on Highway 74, and there's a lot of motion in this cloud base just to our south. Look down here, Kyle. Look how look how fast that's moving right here, just crossing Highway 81 in front of us. Oh my gosh, yeah, that is hanging very low. Damon, we're going to keep a close eye on this. I'll let you know. I don't see a tornado yet, but I'm just telling you, this has the look to it. It just has the look.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all you need out here this time of the year is to have the look. And so that is where Michael is. That's where this storm is spinning, and Michael's not that far away at all from this cell moving up to the northeast. So still has that look, still sees that rotation southwest of Hennessy. Nothing on the ground, still watching that one closely for you. So let's go. Got a couple of storms to work on here. Let's go up to Perry, since that storm is going to be very close to Perry. Get an update on. Okay, Michael. Let's go to Michael.
Ground.
Michael.
Oh, tornado. Yeah, tornado just south of Hennessy. There it is right there on the ground. I was just telling you that. It had the look, and there it is. This storm needs to have a tornado warning on it immediately, Damon. You just saw it spin up right there on my 360 camera. That's exactly where I was looking. That is just to the east of Highway 81. Yep, there it is. Tornado continues.
Yeah, we see that. So yeah, that's a tornado. Again, this could be a tornado warning for Hennessy. Hennessy, this is a tornado warning. Once again, this you just saw that live here from field meteorologist Michael Armstrong and Storm Command. He is on this storm, so that storm continues to spin, dropping a tornado every now and then. But that's it right there. So it was just on the ground just a second ago. Now moving back up to the northeast, but. This is very close to Hennessy, very close to Hennessy. Once again, you can see where Michael is located. So this is going to be, let's see here, Michael, let's keep your shot up. Let's put the radar up so we can see exactly where Michael is. So Hennessy, you need to be going into your tornado shelter. That's where the area of rotation is. Michael's looking just to the west. So that is the spin. Once again, Hennessy, this storm, which just produced that tornado there right in front of Michael, 440, Fairmont, 512, Covington, 515. Michael, go, what are you saying?
Yeah, Yep, more condensation. Another tornado right now. Just stop, Kyle. Please stop. We have a tornado right now. I'm going to try to zoom in on it. It's just to the right of that do not enter sign. Right here. This is where I just saw, you can see it spinning rapidly. That is rapid rotation right now. We are 4 miles south of Hennessy with rapid rotation 1 mile to my southeast.
Yeah, so Hennessy, once again, this storm has produced a tornado. This coming in from field meteorologist Michael Armstrong. This is Hennessy. You need to be getting ready to go into your tornado shelter with this storm right now. This storm continues to produce a tornado. You can see that rotation in this storm right now, and this one continues to show signs of strengthening. So this storm, tornado warning, needs to be on this cell right here, bedded up in towards Hennessy. That's a well-defined lowering. You heard Michael mention just moments ago, look, this has that look to it, rightfully so, as it's moving up to the northeast. So this could be a tornado warning. This could be a tornado warning, let's see here, a different cell, but okay, so we got a couple tornado warnings. We have a tornado warning out for Harmon and Jackson. This storm has produced a tornado. We've already seen it, and it's likely going to do it again with the environment that we have in here. But out to Michael. Hey, Michael, give us an update. We see you panning across the sky. Give us an update on what you're seeing right now.
Well, that's part of the problem, Damon, is there's multiple areas of rotation within these storms. So I've got another area of rotation over here to my left, right over that wind farm. Look at that. So right there, look how, you know how tall those wind farms are, but listen, that is so low to the ground, that is unreal, and that is all spinning right in there, and we have the area that's produced the tornado just a moment ago right here. So all of this is rotating.
It is, yeah, it is. It is all rotating. So once again, Michael's be just southwest of Hennessy, but Hennessy, we are watching this one closely. You saw that tornado there, you saw it twice. Southwest of Hennessy, that's where Michael currently is located, and this storm continues to rotate, moving up to northeast. Let's go back over to the radar and go all the way out to the west. We have a number of warnings that we need to touch on right now. We have a number of warnings that we need to look at. So, Jonathan, let's go out to the west. Go out, look at the latest on what we'll label a Shane Helton cell, which is going to be this storm right here, making its way up towards Sayre. Still has a tornado warning on it. Making its way now, it's now well into Texas. It's now well into Oklahoma, moving out of Texas here. So that cell right there, still showing signs of rotation, just northeast of where Shane is located, very close to Sayre. And if you're in Elk City, I know that this one's going to be one that you're concerned about as well. We're watching it closely. So this storm still continues to spin. Shane, we're watching the storm closely. Give us an update on what you're seeing.
Thing is dropping a lot of rain. There's definitely some flooding there in Eric and lots of ponding on the highway here. So there's a lot of rain coming out of this. Now, there's still a lot of motion the motion looks like rotation, but I'm not quite seeing anything that is tornadic yet. Now, or even I'm not even seeing a wall cloud yet. And it's moving off here to the east, and we're staying right with it. I know Buck's real close to me, and we're both watching it and confirming what we see together. But right now, it's just dumping a lot of rain. I haven't even seen any hail yet. Oh, cloud bases. Cloud bases are about 200 feet up in the air. Back to you, Damon.
Okay, yeah, we're watching this one closely. So if you're going to be in western Oklahoma, Shane is on this storm, and Shane's going to continue to ride this storm as it makes its way towards eventually Eric, Elk City, and Sayre. That is the cell that we're watching. Also watching this one down by Hollis. That's a well-defined inflow. I mentioned earlier, I did not like seeing this storm doing what it was doing all by itself down by Gould, south of Hollis. This is a tornado warning as well down in Harmon County until 5:15. This one's racing up to the northeast. And so at this current track, you can see the storm track. Let's go out to Stephen Jones. Stephen, real concerned about this storm that's near you. Give us an update on what you're seeing.
Oklahoma here in Southwest. We're keeping an eye on the supercell that is now just crossing just east of Hollis. We are looking at this storm, and rotation's really starting to pick up, and the environment that it is going into is classically indicative of strong to violent tornadoes. So we should expect to see this storm ramp up over the next 20 to 30 minutes, and we could potentially see a large tornado on the ground, hopefully in our view, probably in the next 30 minutes.
Okay, yeah, so we see that. We definitely see that happening, and I think that storm's really going to become probably one of the more dominant storms all by itself. So as we see with that cell moving up to the northeast. So that's the story right now with that storm moving back up. On the left-hand side, you see field meteorologist Michael Armstrong in Storm Command. He is in Hennessy right now, and that storm has already produced a tornado. We saw it there in Michael's shot. This cell still continues to show some rotation. Let's go out to Michael. Michael, we see your shot. Give us an update on what you're seeing from your vantage point.
Damon, this is the rear flank downdraft coming around the back of the storm. We're in Hennessy. The tornadic circulation is just to the east of Hennessy, but the winds are cranking here in Hennessy. There could be some damaging winds in Hennessy as this storm moves through. We're going to move back up to Highway 51, track it to the east here, east of Hennessy, and basically do the same thing we did in Crescent. But I'll tell you, the winds, they are... Yeah, I didn't have time to check my anemometer right now, but I will here in just a moment and see what the peak wind gust was. We probably got winds anywhere from 50 to 60 here, and we're not even anywhere near where the tornado would be yet.
Yeah, we definitely see your picture there. Definitely some gusty winds that are coming in. As we look downstream and what the next couple of hours will likely look like across Oklahoma, what we see unfolding now is a big line, a big complex of storms. And so as these move to the east-northeast, we're about to go into embedded severe thunderstorms, embedded tornadoes with this, a big-time flooding threat. I mean, really, this flooding risk is going to be quite high with this line, this complex, moving up to the northeast. Let's go back up let's just go work our way down the line of storms here. So let's go up into Ponca City, Perry, Noble County. You can see in the last couple of hours, this is the last 2 hours, how all of these storms just went up. And now moving into we got a flooding threat that's really starting to ramp up here. So Perry, tornado warning continues. As you can see right here, it's going to Perry. Hail core just north of Perry Airport. That's lifting away from town. So Perry Airport in northern parts of Noble County, watching this, still finding areas of rotation. Definitely a lot of strong winds within it. Not finding at least the tornadic threat that we saw earlier with this line, like what we had when it was south of, say, Kingfisher, Watauga, when it was producing all these tornadoes. Let's put a storm track up to the northeast. Let's go out to Michael. Michael, after you we go. You're back in Hennessy. Give us an update.
Dangerous situation. We have debris flying. We can barely see down the road. Anywhere to the east of Hennessy, take your tornado precautions. Do it right now. This is a very, very dangerous storm right now. Watch out, Kyle. There's people parked in the road here. Flash flooding is also beginning to be a problem here. I can see a lot of, I don't know what this guy's doing. Man, this is mayhem. People need to get home and get off the roads. My goodness. It looks like they're going to the school here. People are, they're going into the school to take, there's a bunch of people standing outside underneath the awning, though. They're at the gymnasium here in Hennessy. Get inside, folks. This is a dangerous storm that's coming in just in Hennessy, and there is strong rotation just on the east side of Hennessy right now.
Yeah, we definitely see that. So a couple things to hit up right now. The tornado warning has been canceled for Noble County. The tornado warning has been canceled for Noble County, but this storm, and you saw it earlier, and Michael showed you that tornado there down by Hennessy. Looks like everyone's headed towards the school there into what appears to be a shelter, although they are standing outside, but putting a storm track with this cell, moving up to the northeast, Marshall 512, Covington 523, and then we go back into Perry at 553. Good news, at least, about this storm as it continues to move up to the northeast, is that it's expected to probably at least come down a bit with the tornado threat as the atmosphere has become at least a little bit more stable with those storms coming over Perry earlier. Still, though, across Noble County, got to keep a close eye on this one for you. And right now, we're watching this storm that's going to be over Hennessy. That's where Michael is currently located. You saw that tornado there. It was brief, but it spun up there fast earlier, right in front of Michael's shot. And so because of Michael's warning there, definitely got the message out with this right here. So tornado warning for Hennessy, as we saw there, moving up to the northeast. Jonathan, looking at all of these cells closely, this storm looks fairly significant. We've pretty much now severe warned this entire line all the way out to the west. However, out across western Oklahoma, Elk City, we have not seen a warning yet. Okay, we're about to see a warning. About to get a warning. Okay, so this entire line is getting warned on severe but that tornado threat's now shifting down to the southwest.
It is, Damon. So number one, the storms that we have across northern Oklahoma, they're either on the warm front. So basically, here's the warm front. Those storms are on the warm front. A little bit north of it's going to be very cold. South of it's very warm. This all has strong inflow to each one of these little kind of cells. And we're watching this. North of the front, you're probably going to have cold rain and hail, but anything that's on that warm front, got to watch out for the tornado risk. We're watching that very closely. Visibility is so low because the cloud bases are so low. When you have tornado genesis with some of these, I think we're morphing from a classic supercell setup now across north central Oklahoma to kind of this hybrid deal where all the cells, the supercells, are now kind of linked in together. We're going to have tornado warnings possibly on the line. So we have severe thunderstorm warnings in a tornado watch. People need to really pay attention. This can change really quick. If you're in a severe thunderstorm warning, I want you almost to treat it like a tornado warning. That's how fast it can happen. So we're watching these very closely. This is also going to transition into a major flash flooding event for tonight because this area is getting the training effect. Storms are moving over the exact same area, and that will likely trump the tornado risk that we're seeing for that area right now. Flash flooding will be the major issue for north central Oklahoma. We're clear right now to the southwest of OKC. It looked like there were a few storms trying to go up east of the metro. They haven't become, well-based. There's just a couple showers. Got to watch those very closely. But then again, very concerned for the storms across southwestern Oklahoma. Look at this storm. It is the lone storm. There is nothing around it. If it was hooked up in the line, I would say, okay, it's going to struggle to get some inflow into it. But look at this storm. It is literally miles away. It's 50 miles from the Memphis storm. It's 50 miles from Shane's storm. This storm is the lone storm. This is the one that potentially could become the long track supercell that marches across southwestern Oklahoma, maybe produces strong tornadoes and long track tornadoes for several hours. Let's go out to Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones, boy, you're intercepting that storm right now. I'm not liking what I'm seeing on radar there, Stephen.
Radar, and we are currently seeing the rotation really starting to uptick. This is what we would call a classic supercell. So this storm will have the potential to produce a strong to violent tornado with the type of wind shear that it's in right now. Down here in southwest Oklahoma is a pocket that's been unimpeded by clouds, sunshine, or other storms all day. So this storm's all by itself, and that is a big problem. We could potentially see this is going to be the storm that's going to potentially produce those long track, strong to even maybe violent tornadoes. Back to you.
All right, Stephen Jones, boy, we appreciate everything that you're doing, intercepting the storm down near Russell, Hollis, and McQueen. Tornado warning right now, that goes until 5:15. But again, this is the rogue supercell. It's all by itself. Again, Damon, that is the one I am most concerned about for the highest tornado threat out of all these cells right now. Really concerned about that one.
I'm right there with you on that one. That's all by itself. So let's reconnect. Let's look at the big picture. Let's go back up to the north. For those of you in Ponca City, Perry, northern Oklahoma, our tornado warning that we have with that storm that started in Canadian County, started in El Reno, went all the way to Perry. That tornado warning is no longer in effect. It's now a severe thunderstorm warning for quarter-size hail. It went to 60 miles per hour. That is what the atmosphere is like out across northern Oklahoma, is that it is much more stable. So we're seeing at least a threat come down out across the north. That's a good thing, right? But still, for those of us that are in Ponca City, Perry, up towards Newkirk, out across northern Oklahoma, your threat is coming down. Michael, field meteorologist Michael Armstrong, on this cell that is just outside of Hennessy, continues to be one of the more dominant ones right now within this cluster. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Absolutely horizontal rain. This is blinding rain. Damon, I was really concerned there for Hennessy because this is exactly what we tell people not to do. Don't get out and try to drive in a storm. There were so many people out and they waited too long. The sirens were sounding, but watching the chaos there in town, it makes me fearful for the rest of the day. You please, people, do not wait. Don't wait for storms to approach you before you make your decision. Shelter in place if the storm that has rotation, if the sirens are sounding, if the tornado warning sirens are going off, listen, you can't wait. You cannot wait with these storms. I plead with people, do not wait to make a decision to get out in your car and drive. There's going to be horrendous flash flooding, especially here right now. It looks like up around northern Oklahoma near this warm front. And Damon, we have a very strong rotation just to our east. We're trying to catch up to it, but the winds again are just cranking the rain right in front of us, and it's just horizontal blinding rain up here east of Hennessy. We have a new storm that's going up near Lovell again, and you remember we showed you the tornado earlier near Lovell, and now we have a new storm going up over there along the warm front. So this continues to be dangerous situation up here to the north, up across parts of Garfield County, parts of also Kingfisher County, and over into Logan County as well, even into Noble County there near Perry. So everybody along the warm front up in here, watch out.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that we need to talk about at 4:55. If you're just now getting home from work, the tornado threat continues. We have a PDS tornado watch. We're not even close to seeing the threat over. We've only been in this situation now for about 2 hours. But the flooding potential that we are about to see unfold across the state is going to be incredibly, and I mean incredibly high. Some of the newest data that we have coming in, we're going to squeeze out close to 9 inches of rain. That's what some of the newest data is showing us. 9 inches of rain, lots of widespread 5 to 7 and 8 inches of rain, but close to 9 inches of rain when all is said and done for northern Oklahoma and down towards Oklahoma City. So we have a tremendous flooding threat that is unfolding. And you can see here, these storms continue out to the west. So severe thunderstorm warning. This is an extension. We originally had a tornado warning. Now it's a severe thunderstorm warning. But we're going to go out to Buck King out across western Oklahoma. Buck, give us an update. Where are you and what are you seeing?
Hi, Damon. I'm on the same storm that Shane's been on for the last hour or so. And just kind of giving you a shot here, good idea of the amount of rain that you're talking about that's going to cause all this flooding. You can see the road just covered with water. You can see the amount of water that the truck is throwing up in front of me. As far as the storm goes, it's pretty disorganized, just like Shane has been describing it. There's nothing that's very pronounced at all. In fact, they've dropped the tornado warning off of it, but it is dropping a lot of rain. Back to you.
We are watching your storm closely once again out across western Oklahoma. Buck King and Shane Helton are both out from Elk City, Sayer, out towards Hexo. That report very helpful for us, which is why the tornado warning has been dropped for the time being. Doesn't mean it can't be reissued, but at least it's dropped for the time being. Although now more thunderstorms happening out across the Texas Panhandle, moving up to the northeast. So this is going to be a long evening, a very long evening for us across Oklahoma as we continue to see just these waves of storms. And really the dynamics are going to get even worse as we get closer to sunset. Abigail, I know you've been watching the news feed very closely. Give us an update on what you have there at the news desk.
As you continue to watch the live look on the left-hand side of your screen from field meteorologist Michael Armstrong near Hennessy, I've been speaking to people there, including the police department. It was a very chaotic scene. Michael called it mayhem, said debris was flying across the road. The rain was horizontal. What you were seeing, people were rushing to seek shelter at the old gym off of Main Street. It's down there by the library. And when I was talking to these people, Damon, it was a frantic situation. I asked if they had any damage, any injuries, and they said at this point they're just trying to wrap their heads around what exactly happened. So I'm going to give them a few more minutes, call them back to get an update. But of course, we don't want to bother the police while they're actually doing their job. But so we'll get an update from Hennessy in just a couple of minutes. I'm also in contact with my friends in Elk City. We met 2 years ago, almost to the day, covering that deadly and devastating tornado out there, Damon. They said that the sky to their west was black. So they have now gone into their storm shelters and they're watching on their phones and listening over radio. Back to you.
Yeah, and if they don't have a storm shelter, innermost room of their house is okay. Again, they're under a severe thunderstorm warning. So brand new tornado warning was just issued for this cell that Stephen Jones is currently on. You can see this well-defined inflow right there, moving up to the northeast very quickly. This still remains to be that, this is still that isolated storm, the one that's really going to become pretty significant as it is all by itself. Moving up to the northeast, goes into Russell, Mangum, Willow, Granite, Lugert, Lone Wolf, between about now and about 5:50. Fast-moving storm, but this is definitely going to be the more significant storm. You can see Stephen Jones right there in the inflow of the cell as it continues to move up to the northeast. Let's go out to Stephen Jones. Stephen, tornado warning continues on your cell. Give us an update on what you're seeing.
Hey, Reed, Oklahoma, and we're starting to see this base kind of appear out of the haze, and we don't see anything on the ground right now, but what the radar is telling us that it is pretty close to could be producing a tornado at any moment. So we're keeping a look on what's going on, and I'll definitely keep you up to date as soon as I see a tornado happen. It looks like we could have a wall cloud or a funnel could be forming right before our eyes, just on the left-hand side of my screen. So looks like it's definitely organizing. We could see a tornado at any moment. Back to you.
Okay, we're going to keep in very close contact with Stephen Jones, and we'll have to put Stephen Jones' picture there on the left-hand side, as he is going to be on this storm. That is the only tornado-warned cell that we currently have in the state, down across southwestern Oklahoma, and that rotation is definitely ramping up. This is the storm that we were most concerned about today. This was the storm that we're most concerned about, all by itself, and an atmosphere that is very unstable. Stephen is looking right into this, and our rotation tracker is definitely beginning to ramp up. You can see all that lightning there in the distance coming up on this storm, but Stephen is very close inside into the storm, and yeah, this thing is probably about to produce a tornado. A brand new tornado warning was just issued. That's going to be where we have Storm Command out near Marshall. This is going to be the storm that Michael was on that produced that tornado near Hennessy not that long ago. So now we're working two tornado warnings in the state right now. This one moving up to the northeast goes into Lovell at 5:01. We go back into Perry at 5:32. Sumner at 5:47. Bill's Corner, which we had that on cue there east of Perry at about 5:50. Let's go out to field meteorologist Michael Armstrong. Michael, brand new tornado warning just issued. Give us an update.
Damon, look at the rain curtains wrapping right here in front of me. This is on Highway 51, back to the east of Hennessy. And I'll tell you what, I've been able to see a visual on a tornado yet. I'll tell you what, this area is extremely dangerous. We just had a brand new storm, the one I was telling you about, near Lovell go up, and we just have, we have horrendous winds out of the north. We have been driving and driving and driving, trying to get out of the rain, and it just keeps engulfing us because of how rapidly the storm is developing. Anywhere who lives, my gosh, Kyle, just keep going down 51. We gotta get east of Highway 74 here, Damon. This is very, very dangerous near Lovell. Back up to the northeast, basically the same track that the other storm took. It's almost exactly the same track that the other storm took.
Yeah, Michael, you're right.
Yeah,
Michael, we were just saying that. We see people braking pretty hard in front of you, so definitely you can tell conditions are getting even worse. Let's keep the shot. Let's put the radar up so we can show those that are in the path, and that is what we are watching. So that rotation is really ramped up in just the last few moments, right in front of Michael. Michael, if you can hear us, our radar is now picking up moderate rotation right in front of you. Literally less than. Here's a few hundred yards. If there's a tornado developing, it's happening right in front of Michael. And that is why people are slamming on the brakes, because things are going from bad to even worse. You can see that inflow and that hook right. Ooh, power. Oh, Michael.
Power flash.
Yeah, Michael, we see that, Michael.
Yeah. Oh, we just heard power flash right here. Kyle just saw a power flash right in front of us. I was looking out oh, there it is. Yeah, another power flash right there. This is with north winds. So apparently it's got a transformers blown right here in front of us. I don't know, or it's just arcing. Yeah, it's coming off those power lines right there. That's what I'm telling you. The winds are coming out of the north so strong that we can't see anything. We've got to get east, Kyle.
Yeah, Michael, we saw those power flashes, the arcing power lines there. We saw those flashes. Definitely people are driving very slowly, rightfully so. But that rotation, Michael, it's right in front of you, this is not a good situation right here with this storm. Let's go back over to the radar. So this is where Michael, so there's Tyler and Mecca. Here's going to be the inflow on this storm right here. So Michael's actually going to be right here. He's going to be up in the north, up near Lovell. So this cell, you see a lot of people there pulling off on the side of the road. I'm always concerned when you see that rain that's going to be that heavy coming in. So Michael's right there in the hail core of it. That's the inflow from Lovell, north of Crescent. This is lifting up to the northeast. Definitely, Jonathan, how's the rotation tracker look on this one? Let's pop that up and see what the rotation is looking like within that cell, because this storm definitely continues to show a well-defined inflow notch coming in with this. Once again, moving up to the northeast. So that storm still showing signs of rotation. You saw the strong winds and the power flashes there in front of Michael's shot. This is the same storm that produced that tornado near Hennessy moments ago. This line continues to move up to the northeast. So once again, looking at a tornado warning with this cell. This is north of Guthrie. This is going to be northern Logan County, moving back towards Perry. You can see all those that are included in this storm track here. Covington, Perry Elementary, 532. Morrison down to Bill's Corner. And Bill's Corner, really, if you're east of Noble, you know that as the place where they have the on cue. Let's go back out to Michael. Michael, we see visibility is really tough where you are, Michael. Give us an update on what you're seeing.
Oh, yeah, visibility's terrible right here, and the wind gusts coming out of the north, whipping the rain across the road is just nothing short of remarkable. I mean, I feel for people out here having to drive. I mean, we're out here doing it. We're trying to make sure that people have the information they need to keep their families safe. But I have seen so many people on the roads. After all the information that we've given for days, it's just shocking. I can't say it enough. People, if you can go home and just stay there and be able to shelter in place or whatever you need to do. But there are leaves all over the road here. We may have had a tornado cross here. I don't know. But there's a bunch of leaves down here now. I'm not seeing whole trees down or anything like that. But the conditions out here are just absolutely horrendous.
Well, yeah, we definitely see that there. And Michael, you looks like you're about to pop out of the rain core, but still, this storm needs to be monitored. Jonathan, let's pull on out. Let's go up into northern Oklahoma. Give those an update in Noble County. Okay, Stephen, the southwestern Oklahoma. Stephen, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Hey, Damon, we are seeing a rapidly developing wall cloud, very significant rotation ongoing at the moment. Looks like we may have to reposition here to the east as the RFD is swinging around this storm. It is looking like it is setting up to possibly produce a significant tornado. So we're keeping our eyes on it right now, and I'll yell at you as soon as we see a tornado. Back to you.
Stephen Jones, tracking a storm near Russell, Oklahoma. The storm is tracking towards Mangum. Again, this is a storm. You're looking at two things right now. Michael Armstrong is near Marshall on the left, and then on the right, there's Stephen Jones. And Stephen Jones is in just the right spot. He is literally in the hook. If we could do a split screen with radar and with his picture so we can show you exactly where he's at, there you go. He's right in the hook. Stephen's in the right spot. If this storm produces a tornado, just like when he tracked the tornado about 2 weeks ago, was that near Rocky? He was right there. Stephen Jones right in the right spot. Again, this is a rogue supercell, nothing out in front of it. It is going to just draw in all the extreme heat and humidity that's out in front. If it was back in the line, maybe we'd be struggling with the other storms for the inflow. But again, that storm is the lone storm. That is the one to watch for the night. So again, Chris Lee coming in on that one. Stephen Jones coming in on this one, doing a quick storm track, moving northeast pretty quick, about 40 miles an hour. Coming in the Lone Wolf about 547. Again, fast-moving supercell, could be the dominant long track supercell of the evening. But again, Damon, this is quite the mess up north, and we're really concerned about the storm that Michael's on also.
Yeah, we are. So this tornado warning that we have.
I don't. So, is that Michael Armstrong's picture that we're looking at on the left-hand side? Is that the right one? Yeah, that's Stephen Jones on the left. Okay, so you got to understand, you're looking at Stephen Jones on the left, and now we're going to show you where Michael Armstrong is at. Let's get Michael lined up and talk to Michael here in just a second, because the overall cell that's coming into Orlando is very strong. It's starting to look more like more of a classic supercell versus kind of that hybrid. Michael, looking at the storms, looking pretty strong on radar.
Yeah, we are under the circulation. We're inside the bear's cage yet again with this storm. It is going to pass probably just to the west of Orlando. Got a funnel right here just to my, look at this. Oh my gosh, this thing, you have to be in tight with these because the cloud bases are so low you can't see them from very far away, but that's why we're doing what we're doing. We want to let people know exactly where the tornadoes are, and you can see my location, guys. It's due north of me. So plot me on radar and I'll tell you it's 1 to 2 miles due north of me is where that funnel just occurred. And so that's going to be 5 to 6 miles west of Orlando. It is lifting up to the northeast, and that could come up toward Perry. I know you've already been. Oh my gosh, look at the rotation right there. Oh my goodness. That is incredible.
Mike,
guys, this is serious stuff.
Michael, it is. It is. Yeah, it is really serious, and that is obviously why we were here. This is what Michael is talking about right here. He was on this storm when it produced that first tornado out near Hennessy. Continues to move up to the northeast. Fast-moving line of storms. This tornado warning goes all the way up into pretty much Pawnee County. K County, this tornado warning cell is going to stay just south of you. And we can get a good idea as to what this storm is going to do because a previous storm, once it went up towards the Perry Airport, it started to fall apart. So, and from a rotation standpoint, still ongoing with heavy rain. But this cell right here is coming in from Michael. He's currently near Orlando, and he is very much in the inflow of this cell, punched out of the rain. And now you can see this cell continues to at least show that sign of rotation moving up to the northeast. So let's keep a shot up. Let's go back over to the radar. That's exactly where Michael's going to be located, near Orlando. Moving up towards Orlando, 514. Lake McMurtry, 529. Stillwater Airport, 536. Downtown, or Sumner, 539. Bill's Corner, popular spot. I said it before, I'll say it again. That's tornado. Okay. Michael, we got a low-level lock on our radar. Michael, give us an update.
Yeah, tornado right now. Tornado, watch out, Kyle. Just watch out right here. Yeah, there. I just saw a visible condensation funnel all the way to the ground, just to my north. This is happening right here with me, guys. You can see it right there in my shot. You can see it right there, right over top of that building.
Yeah, Michael, we see it. Okay,
Man,
so yeah, we got
the rotation in here is so intense.
Yeah, we see that right there. That is it coming down. Looks like a visibility getting a little obscured there in the bottom toward the base. But yeah, we did see that there just past those homes. So definitely another confirmed tornado as the storm continues to move up to the northeast here. It's going to be wrapped in that rain. It's going to be wrapped in that set of gray clouds that you see just to the west. Let's keep the shot up. Let's go back over to the radar. Our radar is now pinging a low-level lock. When you see those spinning rings, that means that we're starting to see that twisting in the atmosphere there at the lowest levels, which is exactly where Michael is located. So Orlando 514, Stillwater 536. An update. When I was saying about Bill's Corner, that's where that the on-Q is going to be located just east of Perry. So there's an on-Q there. We're going to Morrison at 545, Glencoe 549, Sooner Lake 550. We'll go down to Pawnee at 6 o'clock. It is currently 5:11. You're watching KOCO 5 News at 5 o'clock. And once again, the big story continues to be the risk for severe weather, the threat for tornadoes. PDS Tornado Watch was issued earlier today at about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and it goes until 10 o'clock. So we still have about another 5 hours to go before this tornado watch is going to be expiring. However, we're talking about many hazards for today, not just a tornado threat, but also the risk for some incredibly heavy rain. Some of the newest model data that we have had coming in today has been showing that we can pick up widespread 5 to 7 inches of rain north of I-40, 9 inches of rain. Last check on the data that we had coming in showed close to 9 inches of rain right here in Oklahoma City as we go into the overnight. We're going to get into a big-time flooding threat. And so I know a lot of times we focus on the tornado risk, which is what we're focusing on now. But as we go later into tonight, we're going to begin to focus on the flooding potential that's going to be rolling in as well. You can see our radar still continues to have a low-level lock with this cell moving up to the northeast, and we're still finding at least that area of now moderate rotation. And it's picking. Okay, Steven, let's go out to Steven. Steven Jones. Steven.
Go, Steven.
Beautiful tornado on the ground. Large, strong tornado developing right in front of us. We're looking due east, just southwest of Mangum, Oklahoma. We have a tornado on the ground. Looks like this is a strong tornado. We have very strong motion with violent helical vortices already. This is going to be a strong tornado.
Steven, we see that is going to be a strong tornado. That is a tornado right there down by Mangum. That is going to be a strong tornado. We mentioned earlier just how much we did not like this thunderstorm because it was all out by itself, and now you can clearly see why, because that thing continues to spin and it continues to move. So let's keep this shot up. Let's go over to radar so we can show those back at home exactly who's in this storm. But once again, that is a large tornado. Steven, Steven's going to be located right here, low-level lock on this cell. Moving up to the northeast, Mangum. Go into your tornado shelter. Granite, 528 Mangum, 545 Granite. Once again, tornado continues to move up to the northeast. This is a violent tornado, clearly beginning to get even stronger. Looks like another vortice there trying to spin up as well on this. But yeah, this storm continues to move up to the northeast. Our radar, low-level lock on it, just north of Russell, moving up to the northeast. That tornado continues to get even stronger. As you can see right there by Mangum, this is that isolated supercell that we are very much concerned about. And Stephen now moving with this storm. And again, you can imagine their cell service a little hit and miss in southwestern Oklahoma, but our radar still has that low-level lock and continues to get even stronger and stronger with that storm right there. So, okay, Stephen, we hear you saying violent tornado, go.
Yes, we are witnessing a violent tornado. This is heading towards the town of Mangum, Oklahoma. This is a strong tornado. It is rapidly increasing in strength. This is a strong tornado. I hope really no roads are in the path of this. Keep going, Brady. Back to you, David. We're trying to reposition to get out ahead of this. Mangum is in the direct path of this tornado, especially the west side.
Yeah,
so people in Mangum, please take tornado precautions now. This is a violent tornado.
Yeah, Stephen, we definitely see that as a violent tornado. So let's keep this shot up. I know it's coming in and out, but we're going to keep it up. It's going to come back. But that is exactly where Stephen is located. He is right in the heart of this, and this is moving right towards Mangum. Mangum, you have to go into your tornado shelter right now. Once again, Mangum, go into your shelter. This storm continues to move up to the northeast. Jonathan, this is going to move